Thoughts and Friends, episode 72. Coming at you. We're talking NFL draft. We're talking NBA playoffs. The NFL draft snuck up on me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Over the weekend, it was like, it's this Thursday. It's draft week. Here we are. Fun to be back.
One of the least hyped drafts I can remember.
Yeah, I was saying the same. It's very little, outside of people that are super into it, like big-time like fantasy football nerds and people that like scout players. Obviously, they're into it, but just like the general public feels like a very down year.
Well, there's no generational prospects. We'll get into that, but there isn't a Jadeveon Clowney type of guy, Myles Garrett,
No.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, you mentioned there's really no quarterback hype.
And the quarterback class is as bad as it's been in a long time.
Not only is it not very good, they play at like the best prospects from Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, I've only seen like a few games of him.
Or is he? We're going to give our quarterback rankings, but the I don't know. The consensus has kind of shifted a little bit lately.
I would say it's still Malik Willis.
I see a lot of Pickett going before him.
Either way, he's from Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
So not exactly exciting. The top of the board is less exciting than it has been in prior years. So whatever. I still love the NFL. We'll still talk about it.
Yeah, I certainly have not been as locked into it. And I'm never like that locked into it. I'm more just like the skill position guys, and then I kind of just the defenders and O-linemen are like, sure, the people that know what they're talking about say they're good, so I'll just kind of go with what they say.
I'm grinding tape.
Yeah,
if that's what you're getting at.
Yeah,
but I've watched a ton of games during the season. Only seen Malik Willis a couple times, so
we're slightly less casual than some of the people listening to this. If you just want a general
I have a couple
synopsis of who some of these guys are, some guys to look out for.
Have a couple bets, a couple bombs to throw. Have a little fun on draft night. Draft night is one of my favorite events. We've said it hasn't had a lot of hype for this season, but round one, the Thursday, is always really great. I love watching it.
One thing that I like better about the NBA, you don't see a lot of trades involving actual players. That's just the NFL in general, but you don't see a lot of trades that really impact.
It's mostly draft picks on draft night.
Yeah.
There are some that happen prior to, but draft night, that doesn't typically happen a lot. Like Debo could get moved for picks.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams was moved for a bunch of picks. Russ was moved for, so there's a lot of teams. There's like 6 teams with multiple picks. A bunch of teams don't even have a first-round pick.
And this has been the craziest offseason in the history of the NFL, so maybe Debo gets traded on draft night. That would be fun.
Yeah. I could see it. They, for good reason, don't want to trade him, so I've been back.
I assume you saw that video of him in that club.
Yeah.
They were holding up the sign and bottle service.
Debo's coming
back, and he's looking, giving him the throat slide. He's like, nah, no, I am not.
No, what's the problem?
I think he just wants to get paid more.
Yeah, just pay him, and I think we're good, right?
I would assume he gets paid like a top 5 wide receiver. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
It seems like San Francisco doesn't want to do that. I would say by almost any metric, he just legitimately is probably a top 5 wide receiver.
I'd say probably no, but from 5 to 8-ish, right after that, outside of the top tier.
In terms of guy
deserves to get paid though,
who carries an entire offense,
did a lot,
makes Jimmy Garoppolo not seem like a piece of trash. Certainly picked up the slack for George Kittle being hurt for the last chunk of year.
Yeah. So this draft is rare in the sense I said multiple teams have multiple picks. The Lions have 2 picks due to the Stafford trade. The Jets have multiple picks in the top 10 due to the Adams trade, the safety with Seattle. Whoops. They got a first round for that. The Giants have they pick 5 and 7 due to the Justin Fields trade up from last year. The Saints had a higher pick. They traded back for 2 picks from Philly, so they have multiple picks. Philly has they had 3 in the first round. They traded 2 of them to move up. So a ton of teams have multiple picks. The Rams, the Raiders don't have any picks. A few other teams, Seattle, as I mentioned. So really weird, interesting draft. A small amount of teams control the board.
Seems like we're going to see a lot of trades.
there's teams that have the ammo to move around if they want to. Usually you see trades to move up for quarterbacks. I don't know if...
Yeah, there's not like I think there's a few guys at a few certain positions that do have the upside that like this guy could be one of the top 3 at this position in the NFL. None of those positions are a quarterback.
No.
But there's a few guys at a few spots that I think could be like generational talents at their position.
Let's get into it. The first overall pick, the Jaguars have the first overall pick. 6 or 8 months ago, it was like slam dunk Kayvon Thibodeau from Oregon. It's like just freaky athletic, gonna just be a force off the edge. And then there was kind of the prospect fatigue, and that you just look for things that you can ding him for rather than building him up. He's been the number 1 pick for quite a while. A lot of motor, a lot of desire, a lot of does he love football questions, I think. And that kind of coincided with Aiden Hutchinson having like the month of his life, beating Ohio State, having a couple big performances. And up until yesterday, he was like minus 350, 400 to go number 1 overall. But we've had another shift since then, kind of a combine darling, if you will, from that Georgia defense. Travon Walker is now the favorite to go number 1. I'm seeing the GM for the Jag. It's like arm length is like the separating. This guy has like 98th percentile arm length.
Travon Walker does?
Yes. And Aiden Hutchinson has like T-Rex arms. It's like the 7th percentile arm length. And that's like, if you just go through the history, it's a good indicator of production and productivity for pass rushers. Alden Smith was one that was a huge hit, just freaky long arms. Makes sense. Keep guys off of you. But yeah, Travon Walker is now like minus 200 to go first. So a lot of movement. The Jag, I don't know why they would be smoke screen. I mean, they have the number 1 pick. They have nothing to.
No,
you got him. Who do you want? So I don't know why there would be smoke if there's not fire here for Walker to go first. So I'm thinking that's where they're going to go.
This is a classic philosophical drafting conundrum with these 3 guys. You have Hutchinson, who is the
3.
He's the sure thing. He's the safe pick. He's the super high floor. No attitude, no off the field problems. Super solid player. I don't see a scenario where he's just out of the NFL. I mean, certainly projects to be a productive NFL player, but probably doesn't project to be like a Hall of Fame generational type of player, which at the number 1 pick, you usually want that type of guy. You have Thibodeau, who just every tool you could possibly imagine, but lacks the motor, lacks the drive, which is also arguably just as concerning as the guy who's maybe not as talented, but you know what you're going to get, because I feel like you see a ton of some Kayvon Thibodeaus that you're like, this guy was out of the league in 2 years. He got drafted top 10. He was supposed to be the next coming, and he just didn't really care.
Gotta love ball.
At that level, all the other guys are Kayvon Thibodeaus too. So you gotta work hard. You gotta be in the film room. You gotta start focusing on craft and not getting by on speed and strength.
You know,
and then you have Travon Walker, who's just this raw piece of clay that's 6'6", 270.
Like broke the combine.
Runs a 4.3, does it all, but everyone's like, well, he didn't really have many tackles for loss. He didn't really have many sacks. He was not very productive at all,
like 10
really.
10 total sacks in his career at Georgia in 3 years.
And everyone kind of says, well, his technique's not great. So with that's a little bit of a risk too. So it's very interesting. It's really the 3 archetypes of why you should or shouldn't draft a guy. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Thibodeau's certainly almost seems like no chance to go number 1, but it's going to be Hutchinson, Walker. Could be an offensive lineman maybe, but they just signed 2 offensive linemen, so probably not.
Yeah, everyone early in the offseason, they franchise tagged their tackle, so everyone seems like they're telegraphing that they're going to be taking.
They signed another O-lineman this offseason, free agent, kind of a veteran guy.
Brandon Sheriff.
Yes.
So that leaves a nice storyline for the Lions at 2. I don't I would be at this point. I would be pretty stunned if they took Willis at 2. There's an obvious need at quarterback, and he's a guy that you wouldn't want to plug in right away, especially with a bad team around him. So Goff it could be that bridge, but I think the roster is just too bad to take quarterback at 2. And it kind of falls, if Walker goes first, a storyline of Hutchinson staying home.
Yeah, taking the Michigan guy.
It's a good storyline. I think that's a slam dunk. They need edge. They just need good players.
You put the additional pressure on him, which is like you're going to have pressure on you no matter what if you're a top 5 pick. And if you can't deal with pressure, we're just not a guy we want to take anyway, probably. So if you're concerned about that, then you're probably just concerned about the guy in general.
Yeah, I think these first 2 picks are both edge rushers. I think these 2 guys are 1-2. There is an off chance that I could see him trading maybe if someone just can't make a deal elsewhere and wants to come up and get Malik Willis, but I would be surprised by that. I think it's edge rusher 1 and 2. Would you agree with that, or you think they go somewhere else?
Yeah, I really haven't seen anything else. A while ago, there was some talk about Neal, the tackle, going in this range. That seems to have cooled off a bit.
They took Sewell last year.
I think it's going to be Walker and Hutchinson in some order as the first 2 picks.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And actually, Neal is not even really the top consensus tackle anymore. Aquanu from NC State's getting a lot of buzz
around the league, I would say. But Aquanu, is from NC State. Is
this even has Cross from Mississippi State going over Evan Neal. So.
Yeah, we'll talk about him in a second. There's people
I know very little about these
really like him,
linemen.
and people that. So we'll talk about him now. Mississippi State, Mike Leach. He's had a history of tackles in the league not performing well due to his scheme. They have super wide splits, so the tackles are kind of out on an island. They pass every down. So it's kind of an odd adjustment moving to the NFL. There's been a couple tackles from his system that haven't translated well. So there's concern there, but he seems like a really good player, really good prospect, but that's the only real concern that I've seen from people. So some people are out on him because of that, or at least have him third among those big 3 tackles. The Texans, I think it gets more interesting here.
Yeah, the reason it's interesting is because they need absolutely everything. Yeah, they don't have a single
pretty bad
good player on their roster. Really.
I think when you're this bad, unless someone wants to really pay to come up and take this spot, because you just will take players and more picks, I think tackle's pretty safe. I mean, just a building block.
Also,
you're going to give a try with Slovis, it sounds like. I think it makes sense.
This is also an underrated thing that I think with these GMs. It's very easy to just punt on a tackle and your fans don't realize the tackle's bad. Whereas if you pick a quarterback and the quarterback's bad, idiots like us realize when he's bad. If the tackle's bad, no one besides the nerds that are watching the games are going to know. Even the owner of the team is going to be like, I don't know.
He's big and kind of does stuff. I don't know. He's out there. He's gigantic.
Yeah, I when I watch a game, no offensive lineman stands out to me at all. When I watch out to a game, it never, unless the guy gets lifted, unless a guy's pulling and he just obliterates a small corner, which every lineman in the NFL can do that.
Yeah, you get got sometimes, and you look good, you look bad.
I weigh 175 pounds more than you. I'm going to move you against your will.
I think that's the choice here.
And I don't know anything about these tackles. From what I gather, Neal, again, seems to be kind of the safe, really solid guy. Aquanu seems to be just an absolute freak of nature.
Yeah.
Do I have that right?
I would say that both of those guys are pretty damn, not sure thing, but just pretty solid. Aquanu, I think Neal might have played some guard too, but I think he'll be a tackle. You're not taking a guard at 3, but I think he'll be. It might have been his sophomore year he played some guard. I don't know, but I think it's one of those 2 there.
Okay. I don't know shit about tackles. I made a list of, in just my mind, to me, best players in the class, guys that I think are going to be studs. And a guy that's going to go in this range that I just feel like is can't miss is Sauce Gardner.
I think that's in play here.
The corner from Cincinnati. He seems like he checks every box. He's big, he's physical, he's fast, he has long arms. He was productive in college. He played against Alabama, and he held his own. He shut down I think he covered Williams most of the game. They put him on him. Williams was very ineffective, a guy who, we'll get to the wide receiver rankings, ranks very high for me in those rankings.
Yeah.
So he seems to me like in this NFL, he gives me all the faith in the world in taking him this high.
I think he's in play there. I do think they go tackle just because they want to try to support Slovis and give him a shot to be good in the NFL. But I think he's, a top 5 player in the draft. A nice nugget, little tidbit on him, just like the exact opposite of Kayvon Thibodeau in that loves ball to the max.
Yes.
Like never smoked, never drank in his life, just
Yes.
grinds football, is like a football junkie, is all I've heard. Just rave reviews in interviews, in pre-draft stuff, just the perfect prospect.
Am I crazy that I get Jaylen Ramsey vibes from him?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm not crazy. Because, I mean, Jaylen Ramsey is
Long arms,
one of the
press
best
cover.
corners who's ever lived.
Yeah.
I do see that from him. I don't see
And
any
also-
weaknesses as a corner that he has.
Also, Sauce Gardner.
Sauce
Are you
Gardner.
kidding me? Are you kidding me?
That's a Hall of Fame name.
Get him the jacket
Hall of Fame name.
now. Fit that man for gold.
Print the T-shirts, whatever team he goes
Canton.
to. Fucking brew the barbecue sauce, brew the hot sauce, print out the labels.
Yeah. I think the Jets would
Easy
be,
money.
I think the Jets would be sick if he went 3rd because I think they would take him 4th.
Yeah. Yep.
I suppose. Ooh, there was some buzz today for Jermaine Johnson. I actually know literally 0 things about him. He played for Florida State.
You were telling me about him, and I, too, had never heard of him.
I
Other
just know
than
he
just
played for
seeing
Florida
his
State,
name
had
on
a
here,
good,
being
had a
like,
good combine, very good athlete, and is rising up board. So the Jets like him over Thibodeau, for whatever that's worth, is what
Okay.
I've heard on the internet. So take that for what you will. I think they're looking. They want to get a receiver to help Zach Wilson. I think they would take Sauce Gardner. I think they would take an edge. I don't know. I don't think they would go receiver at 4.
I
Probably just let the board unless they're in love with someone.
I think the receiver class, I told you that I think it's very deep, but you are right that I don't think the top-end receiver talent is really there. I think a lot of these receivers are going a little higher than they probably should. I do think there are like 10 to 12 guys that I think are really solid NFL contributors, which seems like a lot. I don't have a super great point of reference, but obviously Jamar Chase is one of the best receiver prospects in the last decade. So to say there's no Jamar Chase is a stupid thing to even say because that's just pretty obvious.
but in my opinion, there's
But even the high-end guys.
there's no like Waddle. There's no
No.
Devonta Smith.
Here, let's give me your. Do you have receiver rankings?
I really don't.
Who do
I
you?
think
Well, do you have number 1?
So I would. It's so tough on team situation. I think Jameson Williams is the best receiver in the,
I do
in
too.
the class. By if he didn't get hurt by a significant amount,
I think it's silly that he's dropping as far as he is, and I've seen him in the top 10, but I've also seen him in like the 20s. I've seen him in like not in the top 5 receivers,
I wonder what
which
his
is insane
number
to
is.
me.
Yeah, I think he's clearly the best receiver. He was the best player on the field in that championship game. Blew his knee out. I don't know when he's going to be available, but if some team like in the teens or like early 20s somehow,
If you
is
get him
able
in the
to scoop
20s,
him,
that's an absolute steal.
the Chiefs have 2 picks. The Packers have 2 picks. I don't know if they would come up to like the teens to get him, but it would be a perfect fit.
If I were them, I would.
Both of those picks in the late. Yeah, I think that's possible. I think he's the best player, best receiver. After that,
You want
like
my
these-
rankings?
Yeah, these Ohio State guys, for some reason, I'm just not sold.
No. Okay.
I like them, but I
I don't love Olave. I think
don't
he's
love them.
going to be good. I don't think he'll be great. I don't see a greatness factor.
I think
Garrett
that,
Wilson, I see a
think
little
that
bit
about like everyone.
Garrett
all those
Wilson, I see a
players.
little bit more likelihood that he's really good because one, he has like the 4.3 speed on top of his great route running, on top of great cans. Like, I think he's just a very, very, very solid wide receiver. Trying to think of a good comp. Whenever I watch his tape, maybe like a Justin Jefferson light.
Okay.
Which is obviously high praise, but in
praise.
terms of that type of player, My number 3 guy, Arkansas, Treylon Burks. I really like him a lot because I love the burner speed, and I like guys that can create with the ball in their hands, make guys miss, turn short yardage into big yardage. I think that's kind of the direction a lot of receivers are going.
I don't know. I think, yeah, I really like him too. Just eye test, he looks
modern NFL. He seems like he fits perfectly.
I remember watching Drake London, just West Coast late night, watching him play. Dude passes the eye test for me.
I was telling you, I'm low on Drake London. I, too, remember when I first watched him, I was like,
a freak.
He is a freak. My thing is,
what don't you like?
In modern NFL, is there really because in my mind, he's like a pure jump ball receiver. He's not fast. He's not like super great in and out of routes. He's like legitimate, I'm trying to think of, there's not even that archetype of guy in the NFL in terms of high level. Like Mike Williams, that's like my comp for him.
Same school. From 2 years ago, Michael Pittman, it kind of reminds me.
Like Mike Williams, Michael Pittman, and like neither of those guys I see ever being like all pro level guys. Like that's just not the way the NFL is played anymore. Like if this was 2007, Drake London would be surefire.
Mike Evans?
Yeah, Mike Evans, I guess. Mike Evans is like the elite of the elite at this type of thing. But for me,
the final boss.
I really do think like smaller speed spread is more the move. So I think for modern NFL, that would just be the way that I would go.
I think you probably
him as a top 10 pick to me is I
don't think he's
aggressive.
I think him you undersell the rest of his abilities. But that is
he didn't run the 40, which tells me if he was fast, he probably would have ran the 40.
Yeah, a lot of the plays in your head, the big plays he made are just down the sideline, just I'm bigger and faster and better than you, and he would jump over people.
I just don't. Yeah, if that's the best part of his game, that's not as valuable a piece in the modern NFL as the other stuff, in my opinion.
It's a fine case. I could see it going either way. He just popped when he was at the college level, dominated.
Yeah, I don't know that I see. So in my eyes, I think there's guys that are like him. You know who I really like that I don't think is getting enough love is Alec Pierce from Cincinnati. I like him a lot because he's literally the same size as Drake London. He ran a 4.4. He's got a 40-inch vertical. He was incredibly productive in college. Whenever I watched some clips of him and I watched some people break his film down, when he played Bama, he was running by their corners. He was blowing them off the line, and then basically the entire second half, they guarded him with 2 guys because he was basically the only guy on the entire team for Cincinnati they were worried about. I like Alec Pierce a lot. I think he's not getting enough love. And the guy you're pulling up on your screen, I like a lot too. Like if I'm going to take Drake London, I'm just going to take Christian Watson from North Dakota State because he is also 6'5", but he runs a 4.3 40 and is a goddamn Megatron baby.
Yeah,
just a giant freak show.
I like Christian Watson a lot.
Plays North Dakota State, so the comp's not there, but in terms of tools,
Calvin Johnson played at Georgia Tech.
In terms of tools, Christian Watson's got everything you need. To me,
I like him a lot.
In my mind, I would rather have Pearson Watson than Drake London, and Drake London's projected to be like the number 1 receiver off the board, which to me is just wrong. Everywhere I see it's either him or Garrett Wilson first off the board. Garrett Wilson, I don't know. Like Drake London, his ceiling is lower than Christian Watson's to me.
What do you think about Sky Moore?
Don't know much about him. Haven't watched him a ton.
Yeah, he's more of really the opposite of these guys. He's a smaller, speedier guy. 5'10", ran a 4.41. A lot of buzz late in the draft for the Chiefs to replace Tyreek Hill with him. I
feel like if you're that small, I would want you to run even faster than that. But I don't know anything about how he plays.
Went to Western Michigan.
That's why I don't know who he is.
There's a decent history there. Corey Davis. They put that conferences put some players in the NFL that have played well. He's as a first round. I just don't. He seems kind of Amon-Ra St. Brown, kind of slot, super quick. good route runner to me.
Which is valuable.
But I just don't know.
You can find guys.
The
You can
upside.
find those guys.
I just don't know. For me, I'm just taking these freak athletes
Yeah.
at incredible size rather than
this
guy.
Drake London's a guy that I'm low on. I'd say Alec Pierce is a guy that I'm higher on than most people. The rest of the guys, Jameson Williams, he's kind of a little all over the place, but certainly best or second best receiver in this class, in my opinion. Yeah. Ooh, another guy I like that's a little further down. I like Jahan Dotson a lot. He, again, is a little smaller speed guy, but super dominant. Yeah, super dominant in college. Very, very productive.
They've had some decent history putting receivers in the NFL, too.
Allen
Robinson,
fits
Chris
the mold,
Godwin.
high-level speed, seems to always be open.
Okay.
Makes big plays. Alec Pierce, Jahan Dotson, high on. Guy, if you're watching home, Christian Watson, name to watch. Whenever you see me, like, who the fuck is that? Christian Watson, absolute freak show.
I like him a lot.
Could not put it together and just be a bad football player. That's always on the table. If he was just an awesome football player, he would just be a top 10 pick. But Christian Watson, name to remember.
I think it's pretty easy for the Giants. I think they take whatever tackle wasn't taken, I would say.
Yeah.
Between Neal and Ekwonu at 5. They also pick at 7 again. So
is there any potential at the quarterback, you think, for the Giants?
I don't think so. I think they're going to see how this plays out, and then Daniel Jones is going to be gone, and then they'll evaluate the quarterbacks next year. I don't think any of these guys are good enough to warrant taking. I think Daniel Jones is better than every quarterback available.
I do too, but obviously if you think Malik Willis could be good, obviously like they're committed to Daniel Jones this year, but if you like Malik Willis enough, maybe with your second pick of the first, I wouldn't.
Maybe.
But like I don't think they think Daniel Jones is their guy. I would assume not.
No.
I would hope not if I'm a Giants fan.
No, it is a new regime. So
Dable,
and then the guy from Buffalo came over. I can't think of his name, the GM.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It is a new. There's no connection to Daniel Jones. I think they just let it ride and try to improve the rest of the roster, and then see how that turns out, and then evaluate next year because there's just better prospects next year. I think they take tackle, and probably I could see if Gardner's there, they could take him. They could take an edge rusher, Jermaine Johnson. Kayvon Thibodeau is if you can get him at 7, that's a pretty high upside pick for 7. So I think those are all pretty standard. I think that makes a lot of sense. I have no idea what the Panthers are going to do.
So they need a quarterback.
Are they going to trade for Baker Mayfield? Are they going to trot out Sam Darnold? Are they going to take Willis here? Are they going to take Kenny Pickett here?
They're in a really shit spot because, like, you got to think Rule's just done. Like, unless he makes the playoffs this year, they're just going to, like, he's just going to get fired halfway through the season this year. So it's so hard when you're in that sort of limbo as a franchise, knowing what to do. Because a lot of these lower teams, they just hired a new coach. They're like, we're starting from the bottom. Whereas the Panthers had not high expectations, but certainly had expectations they wouldn't be picking in the top 7 of the draft this year.
Yeah.
Their quarterback, who they gave up a lot of assets for, turned out to be the bust that we thought he was. You got an offensive coach and an offense coordinator, and not really a guy to pull the trigger to make those decisions. So do you bring in a Bridgewater type, or do you draft a guy? Like, this is around when the quarterback decisions start getting made.
I don't know what they do, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't either.
If Thibodeau's there, if one of these tackles fall, I suppose the Mississippi State tackle there, they could use him. Man, they could take Derek Stingley. I doubt it. They brought over.
I'm gonna guess they go tackle.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good class for tackle. You get the third best tackle in this class.
They're good on corner. They don't need a corner.
You're still getting a good guy.
They could go cross here. I really don't know. I think this is the most interesting. I think this is a real pivot point of the draft. This could very well be traded. I don't know what they'll do. I think tackle makes sense.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to make sure that our camera's still recording.
Okay. Dude, I'll vamp. I got this. If we're assuming the Giants take tackle at 5, I think edge makes sense if Thibodeau's available. If Jermaine Johnson's available, I think those are the big 4. at this point. I think the Giants are pretty set. I could see him taking, receiver because they lost. What's his name? The little slot receiver that tore his Achilles.
Curtis Samuel?
No, he plays for Washington.
Oh yeah.
Sterling Shepard, I believe, is injured.
Who are you talking about?
The
The
Giants.
Giants. I thought you were talking about the Panthers still.
No. Let's see. Falcons.
Okay, this is around the range. Here's my take.
Falcons Seahawks. Real stinky.
Here's the range where I think, in my opinion, the best player in the whole draft is liable to go.
At
in this
8?
range. Around this range. In my opinion, the best player in the entire draft. This is about where, in mock drafts, it's about the start of his range. The guy that I'm incredibly high on, that I think is going to be an absolute fucking star. But positional value drops him down on the list.
So the Calvin Ridley saga, they need a receiver. So the past 2 years they would have taken tight end at 4 and receiver at 8. Yeah, kind of a yikes. They need a quarterback. They need a lot of stuff. Atlanta
they're in the same spot. They need everything.
Atlanta is sneaky gonna be picking first next year. They're bad.
Yeah.
They traded Matt Ryan to the Colts.
Yeah. I mean, and they're trying to be bad. They traded Matt Ryan, so they're obviously not trying to win games.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Notre Dame safety Kyle Hamilton, baby. He was supposed to go in this range, and then he didn't run well at the combine. But when you watch his tape, it doesn't matter. The guy's got football
got bad
speed.
tape too.
I haven't seen a lot of it. I've seen way more good tape than I have seen bad tape. Ball skills, size, versatility. Guy can run any coverage you need him to run. The guy plays like essentially some nickel corner from time to time. The guy can play linebacker basically. He's the type of guy in these modern defenses that want to go small. You want as many small, fast guys on the field as possible while also being able to stand up against the run. Kyle Hamilton fits that perfectly. Positional versatility. The guy is generational safety prospect.
There are about half or 60% of people that think that, and other people that disagree very much so.
I'm intoxicated.
In the scouting community. He definitely has huge range, but there's at the same time bad tape where he gets beat and doesn't play as well in coverage. I think he has that potential too, but there are some people.
I'm all in. I'm planting my flag on the Kyle
he
Hamilton.
He had top 5 buzz.
Hype
It's kind of like
here's my thing.
Prospect fatigue on him too.
It's prospect fatigue, and if all it is that he didn't run a good 40, and he ran what, like a 4.65 or something like that, like a 4.69, something like
slow.
that.
That's slow, dude. That's slow.
Here's my thing. When you watch the tape, he makes up ground. Like, we talk about this all the time. There's fucking John Ross spandex speed, and then there's on-the-field football speed. And to my eyes, the dude absolutely has football speed. He makes all the plays. I don't see a ton of him getting beat. He has crazy range, and his long arms and his size makes up a little bit for his lack of speed. If he was also a 4'4" and that big, he would just be the best football player of all time. But
Counterpoint. Ready for a counterpoint?
Mm-hmm.
People said the same thing about Isaiah Simmons.
That's the comp. Yeah, that's the guy.
And he's just like
been
been a ghost.
Yeah.
He's not fit in that Arizona scheme. He's a tweener. He's that small guy that doesn't really have a great role. Counterpoint to the counterpoint, another Notre Dame player, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, has fit very well in the Brown scheme and played very well in that same sort of tweener hybrid role. So
here's one thing to reiterate about all this is more often than not, more so than the guy getting picked, it's where they get picked to a lot of the times. Your situation and your fit with all these picks is basically 90% of your outcome on this stuff.
It plays a big factor, but Isaiah Simmons should be better, and it's a very, very similar profile in my mind.
I think Isaiah Simmons was a little bigger.
He's more of a box player.
A little more linebacker-y. Didn't show as much. He showed a little bit more of the... He was more, in my mind, like a linebacker that could play safety, whereas this guy's a safety that can play linebacker, in my opinion.
That's fair.
Also, the ball skills, the range, coupled with the tackling. You can just put this guy all over the field. He makes calling defense easier.
I think it's in play.
All in on Kyle Hamilton, ready to fall flat on my face, but I would take him in the top 10.
Yeah, he's got huge upside for sure. Falcons need good players, so they could go receiver. They have a glaring hole there, but they could also just stink. And
is it worth taking receiver? If you have no one to throw him the ball.
Take receiver in the second round. I think they're all the same.
I don't think there's
take a second round player.
And also, if Jameson Williams is going to go this low, does Atlanta only have one first-round pick?
Yeah, they...
maybe just trade down and take Jameson Williams, honestly.
I think that's a spot they could trade up. So, at 9 and 10 is the Seahawks and the Jets. I think the Jets would probably be looking edge there. Hopefully Jermaine Johnson drops. The Seahawks...
Jets could be looking receiver also.
Yeah, I think they're 2 picks. They're taking receiver and edge. The Seahawks are... interesting. I can't imagine they're going to go with Drew Lock. Maybe they do.
I don't know.
This feels like...
Where did the Seahawks pick?
Quarterback 9.
This says the Texans pick 9th.
I don't think so.
Do I have an old thing here? Oh, this is a projected trade. Don't do that in your mock drafts. You don't know shit. That's a projected trade.
Don't be an asshole. The Seahawks, they traded... So they had their pick is 10, where the Jets are picking.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Adams trade. Mm-hmm. Then they traded Russ
I see.
for 9.
Yeah.
This is the Broncos pick. So they're at 9. I think they're in play for quarterback. It would probably be Malik Willis.
Depends what they're trying to do. How good do they think they are? If we're like trying to win games, then Kenny Pickett is probably who they take.
Let's do quarterbacks.
Planning for the future.
Let's do quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, this is obviously
because how far do they fall? Quarterbacks, last year's draft, quarterback went 1, 2, 3. The last 3 drafts, quarterback went 1 overall. Quarterbacks go high in the NFL draft. It's the most important position. If a team has a guy, they fall in love with a guy, they go get him. It's just what happens. And no quarterbacks going until 8, 9, 10, 11 would be rare.
I think that it is not outside of the realm of possibility. Probably not, because someone will trade up. I don't think it's entirely impossible that we don't see a quarterback go until 20. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
There's definitely if Willis is on the board at 20, they're taking him, I think. From all indications, they're quite smitten that they don't really have a lot of ammo to go up and get him. But if he's there at 20, they'll take him. I wouldn't be shocked by that, but quarterbacks go high. People go get their guy.
Do you have quarterback rankings?
Yeah.
How many did you rank?
Like 7 or 8.
Okay. I ranked 7. I really have only watched 7, so I'm trying to think of some guys that I didn't
7.
watch. The kid from Kansas State who's getting a little buzz late, I haven't really watched. The kid from Cal who I've seen get a little bit of buzz, I haven't really watched.
Same.
Who else have I not watched? So this kid that's sort of like an internet darling, this FCS kid who's like 6'8" and like 250 pounds. He led the FCS in completion percentage. He threw 44 touchdowns, ran for 16. Don't know anything about him. He was a 4-star from Arkansas that transferred to Southeast Louisiana, I think is the name of the school.
Was there off-the-field problems? Why was he there?
No, he started as a redshirt freshman at Arkansas. Just didn't work out. And
what's his name?
Transferred. Cole Kelly.
Okay.
Kelley. Stats-wise and shit. But, I mean, here's my thing. Like, if you're 6'7", 250, like, you're just not going to be able to move well enough to play NFL quarterback in this day and age. He ran 16 touchdowns.
I'll probably pass.
I haven't watched the tape. I don't imagine the 16 touchdowns are all, like, quarterback powers on the 1-yard line.
I'll pass.
Really? I think there's 5 quarterbacks tops that could be NFL starting quarterbacks.
Is this the worst quarterback draft in the history of the NFL?
It's fucking bad, man. So, guys,
I say that dead serious.
This person I have 7th. The person I have 7th, Would not draft with any round pick of the entire
Wouldn't draft with your picks.
Would not draft with the last pick of the NFL draft.
Okay. Who do you have first?
I don't want a big reveal.
Okay, who's this number 7?
Carson Strong.
I like him more than you.
Shot he's good in the NFL. Also, found out this today. He has like a degenerative knee condition. So
like him less now.
Completely out. Dude is an absolute fucking statue. As stiff as a board, not accurate. This dude is Brock Osweiler written all fucking over him. Just a big stiff with a strong arm, doesn't know where it's going, can't move a lick.
I have him ranked ahead of... I have the Western Kentucky quarterback 7th.
I have him 6th. So, again,
super impressive. Not like wouldn't...
His ceiling is... Bailey Zappe's ceiling is like
backup.
Plucky backup quarterback. Like
Taylor Heineke, maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
Best case scenario, he's Taylor Heineke. Best case scenario, he's like Chase Daniel. You'd be smitten if you got Chase Daniel with him as your pick.
Yeah. Just a nice backup.
My 5th quarterback.
Who do you have 7th?
Carson Strong.
Oh, okay.
Bailey Zappi 6th.
I have Zappi 7th. I got a take for you. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't. I have Sam Howell 6th.
Ooh. I'm a little bit higher.
I think he stinks.
I don't think he stinks. I think he's probably not going to be a starting caliber NFL quarterback.
So he stinks.
Well.
So he stinks.
Here's the thing. Like, Sam Howell, where's he projected to go? Like, the 4th round?
Yeah.
So, for a 4th round pick, I would say he doesn't stink. I would say he's...
Sure.
4th round pick caliber quarterback. Sure. If you're expecting to get a starting quarterback in the 4th round.
He's bad Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Bad.
Pretty bad. So who do you have 7th?
Bailey Zappi.
And then you have Sam Howell 6th.
And then Carson Strong. So.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah.
I'll take the chance with just the rocket arm. That's all.
Here's my thing, though. Sam Howell has a strong arm, though. Sam Howell is way better than Carson Strong. I'll give you so I have him 4th on mine. I have him 4th.
Okay.
He's way more mobile. He can move his feet. He breaks tackles pretty well. Throws a pretty decent deep ball. Like, he has some throws to pop, but like his mechanics are fucked. His mechanics are shit. Like,
he doesn't
it's almost to the point
well.
that people that I hear, it's like the fact that he has any good throws just proves that his arm is fucking insane. If he could actually have some mechanics, what everyone says is that he doesn't ever square his shoulders to throw. He's basically like, if you're watching on the camera, like my chest is pointing towards where I'm trying to throw, and I'm just
trying to throw the sideline,
throwing everything all arm, not getting anything behind it.
Bad mechanics, doesn't anticipate well. That's not going to translate well to the NFL.
Yeah, he's got like confidence. He's got kind of a slow release.
Bad.
His intermediate throws are not great. He's but like a lot of these guys, it's like they can't make intermediate throws. It's like, they all fucking suck. None of them can play.
Yeah, it's a bad class.
I have him 4th. I think
all those things
the
are
mobility, he's fairly accurate. He's got a strong arm. Another thing that I do like that does separate him is he's only 21 years old, whereas a lot of these guys are like fucking 45 years old, and it's just like, fuck me.
I'll take none of these picks are going to, like,
I
4th,
do have
5th,
one of my
6th
notes.
round.
Baker Mayfield type, yikes.
All these guys are like 4th, 5th, 6th round, whatever. I'll take a lottery ticket on the biggest arm, I guess. I don't want any of them.
He's terrible.
I don't want any of them.
He can't play.
I can't reiterate.
Sam Howell.
Say this enough.
Sam Howell is a better football player. If nothing else, without the throwing, like fucking Carson Strong can't play. I got bad news for Carson Strong. He's terrible.
So
I could flip.
We've come to our top 4.
The guy that I have, I had Sam Howell 4th, but the guy I have 5th, him and Sam Howell is like a wash to me. I have Desmond Ridder 5th.
Desmond Ritter's better.
I'm not even a
Desmond Ridder guy.
The dude just can't throw.
I've been telling you that for like 2 years.
Yeah, and I was like, my whole thing with you was like, dude, he can run like a deer, which is true. He's very fast.
He is faster than I thought he was.
He's very fast.
Can't throw.
But he's not a good runner. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of these guys ahead of him, all the other 3 guys ahead of him are better runners. He's faster in a straight line, but he's not really twitchy. He doesn't make guys miss. He doesn't break tackles. He's tall and kind of skinny. Like, whenever one of my first notes on here is like, he's like really mature and like strong. It's like, he
sucks.
He's not a great thrower. for a guy who's however old he is, like 35 years old,
He's
like a
old.
7th-year senior,
Yeah,
whatever he
old.
is. Some of his tape, he makes some of the most Stevie Wonder reads I've ever seen in my life. He will fire that thing into triple coverage.
All 4 of these players that we've talked about, I don't want any of them.
No.
We're arguing
Not at
these
all.
back and forth. I don't care.
I see some people like Desmond Ridder is like their second-rated quarterback. You're fucking stupid. I don't
out.
know shit about shit. No
I'm out.
shot. He's got a long release. He's old. He's not agile. He's fucking... For as fast as he is, he's got fucking stone feet in the pocket. He stands there, plants, does not bounce at all, stuck in the fucking pocket. Doesn't really make anticipatory throws, makes bad decisions. See, all this shit, yeah, no, I'm higher on Sam Howell. Like, Sam Howell's not this bad with making reads. Sam Howell makes his progressions better than Ridder does. He makes better decisions. I would say the arm talent is a wash, basically. Both quarterbacks I don't love. Sam Howell I would
We
have
say
slightly
all this to
higher.
say these guys kind of stink. We don't want any of them. I think it gets interesting in the top 3. Obviously, they're all the same for us. What order are they? Who do you have third?
Kenny Pickett.
Same.
Okay.
Same.
Okay. All right. Kenny Pickett. Here's average arm. I would say plus athlete for a quarterback. I'd say he's fast. I would say he's a good runner of the football. He makes guys miss. He picks up a lot of third downs, makes plays with his feet.
But of these 3, third.
Yeah.
Fair? Okay. Go on.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Definitely throws the fewest interceptions, makes the fewest bad decisions of any of these quarterbacks. Definitely the safest with the football. Doesn't turn the ball over, or didn't this last year. I would say he's either first or second in terms of getting to his 5th read, making all his progressions. He's definitely got the most, one of the best abilities of processing defenses and figuring out what he needs to do. Although there are times where he's a little robotic, where it's like,
Okay.
I go here, I go here, I go here, ... He doesn't really play with creativity a lot of times, which is a gift and a curse.
Also old.
Very old, the oldest. Doesn't really wow you with any plays he makes. Just not special in any regard. But the highest floor of any of these guys.
Extremely
Highest or second highest floor of any of these guys.
extremely underwhelming prior to this past season.
Yes.
Extremely underwhelming. Started the 2 years prior. Extremely underwhelming at Pitt. He had an incredible supporting cast. Was it the Biletnikoff winner? Was he from Pitt? What's his name? George. Either way, an incredible supporting cast who are going to be ranked in the top 10 in this next year. Everyone's coming back. They're adding Keaton Slovis at quarterback, who is probably better. They're going to be really good again. Just very unimpressive prior to this season. And their schedule was awful. It was a group of 5 level schedule. The ACC, they had a really good draw. A lot of production seems fake and inflated in a 1-year, 5th-year player with small hands. Say what you will, small hands.
Yeah, the hands I think is a little overblown.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to joke about on Twitter, but
so
it is what it is.
In my opinion, like the comp here is like he's got like a Mac Jones type of upside. It's like I think he's gonna like Mac Jones is better than Kenny Pickett, but in terms of a guy that he's not gonna make mistakes. Like I would say best case scenario, he's like Alex Smith, which is like, not a superstar, but definitely a winning player. Like I think Kenny Pickett is an NFL quarterback, whereas everyone below this, there's a very good chance they're just not in the NFL in a few years. Kenny Pickett to me, I think he's got good enough arm talent. I think he's
like he has a chance to be, but
good enough accuracy, and I think he might have the best footwork in the pocket of any of these guys. He definitely reads the rush better than any of these guys probably. Can extend plays. He's just everything he does is good enough. None of it doesn't do anything poorly, doesn't do anything great.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Yeah, where he's getting picked, like if you're taking him like higher than 20, no, I would not.
I wouldn't take him in the first round.
No.
The player I was thinking of was Jordan Addison. He won the Biletnikoff last year as a sophomore. Awesome player. They had a sneaky, really, really good supporting cast around him. which Sam Howell had the year before and when he was awesome, and then struggled very much this past year when everyone left. So I think they're kind of similar players in a lot of ways. Just
so Kenny Pickett's
pretty
got
reliant,
the size.
pretty reliant on. I'm just talking about just like
yeah.
big picture. Their production came in a very advantageous environment.
You could also argue maybe
pass.
Kenny Pickett had a really bad supporting because like Pitt was terrible. You could argue that maybe he wasn't productive because he was playing with really bad players before. Also,
yeah, that's.
You could argue the opposite side of that coin as well.
I mean, I guess I kind of am.
Yeah. So yeah, Kenny Pickett, wildly
I'll pass. Wouldn't take him in the first round.
Where he's projected to go, I will pass.
Matt Corral is 2 for me.
Malik Willis is 2 for me. Malik Willis is 2 for me. So the most talented thrower in this class is Malik Willis. It's not close. He's got
cannon.
He's got A+ arm talent. And on top of like the strong arm, like accurate, a good thrower, good mechanics, effortless gas. Like one of those guys that you're like just can flick it and it is 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah. Hand cannon like you read about. No doubt.
Super high level runner of the football. Like running back
Twitchy
type instincts. Probably slower straight line than Ritter, Corral, and Pickett, I think. He didn't run the 40, but from everyone I've said, they would say he would probably have run the 40 slower than those guys. But in terms of like vision, there's people that are like he could be a running back, like type of stuff. That's probably just because he's black. People are racist. Maybe?
People are racist, especially with quarterbacks.
But it also does say that he has good vision and he's a good runner and he's built. He's got a big ass and he's thick and breaks a lot of tackles.
Tell me more about his big ass.
You want a good stat?
Yes.
He had the most missed tackles of any player in college football last year, including running backs and receivers.
Yeah, I
playing
think
at Liberty, it's a little
run
different,
style feels Lamar-ish to me. Slippery, very twitchy.
He definitely doesn't have the straight line speed
just
Lamar
like
has.
Escapability
Makes it a little less high upside. Like him breaking a 50-yard run is a little less likely than Lamar because Lamar can run away from people. Lamar can beat people to the edge where he may have a little more trouble doing that. Lamar doesn't break a lot of tackles either, though. Lamar's just harder to get a hand on at all.
Yeah, he just doesn't let him get close enough to have to break it.
Can't ever touch him. He's
good skill.
A fucking snake with the ball.
Yeah.
The reason he's not, if you're listening at home, you're like, well, I'm hearing all this stuff. Sounds like
good.
One of some of the worst film in terms of making reads I've ever seen from anyone ever.
I'm certain he can't read a defense. I don't know if he can read at all. Just like words. Like it's so bad. I don't know.
Yeah. That's the other thing is like personality. He seems like he's crushing all these interviews.
Yeah.
People love him. So like,
kid.
I think he's just like, when I say it is one read and tuck it on every single play, and sometimes
he'll just throw it if it's not open.
And sometimes the first read is wide open, and he will just stare it down and not throw it. It's crazy.
But he's so fast.
It's crazy how bad some of the decision making is. Like, holy fuck,
egregious, bad. At Liberty, against.
That's the thing, and like when he played against like Ole Miss, which is like SEC competition and not a good defense,
fucked him up. It was
nothing.
Bad. It was bad.
Zero production. And you could argue Liberty offensive line, Liberty receivers. I've also seen some like the scheme he was running was just as elementary as you could possibly imagine.
Yeah. They
didn't really challenge him to do anything else. But boy, the guy makes some absolutely piss poor reads. It's brutal.
That's the knock, and it's like as big as knock as you can have.
And
like it's bad.
Sucks. Like he's got a super quick release, cannon for an arm, makes some throws. You're like, oh my god, like no one else can do that.
Yeah, some of the pro day workout shit, just flicking the ball like 70 yards.
Like I saw some people that said they watched every snap of his season. They said he made it to a third read like fewer than 10 times. That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. Against bad defenses.
Yeah, I know. It's a concern.
Here's the thing, though. It's like
in theory,
is he that much worse a prospect than Trey Lance? Like people were saying the same stuff about Trey Lance, and when people watch Trey Lance this year in the NFL, people were like, he doesn't really know what he's looking at. But in terms of like the skill set, it's pretty similar. And Trey Lance went third last year, so
pretty similar. Yeah, I don't know in the like the classroom type stuff. Trey Lance was extremely impressive in that aspect.
Sure.
And there was some good and some bad with him on the field in his first year. So
if you're a fan and you draft this guy, you should pray to God he doesn't start his first year because he will get absolutely ruined and he'll be broken.
In theory, has everything you can't teach, and hopefully one of the few things that you can really coach him up and improve on.
Most times with guys like this, they don't have he's very accurate, which is not a thing. It's usually big arm kind of dumb, but
accurately at the
accurate
wrong
as
place.
Hell, just doesn't know who to throw it to. Doesn't understand when guys are open or not.
Yeah. Major concern. Why do you like Matt Corral?
Great athlete. Underrated athlete. Great runner of the football.
Very good runner.
Very fast. Very twitchy. This is stupid. Moxie out the fucking ass. I am.
He's a gamer.
I'm
dog.
certainly for it if you want to skip your bowl game. But if you're a quarterback and you're playing through an injury in your bowl game, knowing you're going to be a first-round pick, I fucking love it. And he's running dudes over. The other thing is I assumed he was smaller. He's 6'2", almost 220.
In my head, he's small. That's why I just looked.
That's NFL size, big enough. From everything I've seen, has the quickest release in the class by far, which is an underrated skill set. Really strong arm. Pretty accurate, to be honest with you. And at Ole Miss, played a super NFL-style offense. A lot of RPOs, a lot of play action. Some people argue maybe you relied too much on the play action, so if he doesn't have that as an option,
a lot of shotgun.
It'll hurt, but
almost only shotgun.
Throws off platform a lot, throws from a lot of different arm angles, which if you look at all the great quarterbacks in the NFL, that's what they do. They throw from lots of different arm slots, stuff like that.
Old.
Yeah, not as old as Kenny Pickett, not as old as Desmond Ridder, but older than Malik Willis, which
is fine.
The other quarterbacks
Joe Burrow was old.
Are not NFL quarterbacks. Don't give a fuck about them. He's only 22 also, which is for an NFL, not that old.
This is 23, but either way.
Yeah, probably
just
turning maybe whenever. Yeah, love his mentality. Injury concerns, I guess, but I don't know. It's just he had an ankle, which is not
just a guy you'd really like to teach him how to slide.
Yeah,
just a too tough for his own good type of guy.
And in my head, the way he plays, you would think he would make more Brett Favre cataclysmic decisions, which he doesn't really. He doesn't have any bad turnovers really. Fits a lot of balls into some tight windows. Here's an underrated thing that someone told me that was kind of why I liked him more than Pickett is when he does miss.
Because he's good and Pickett's not?
Yeah, I think they're both okay, but Pickett tends to miss high on his throws, whereas Corral tends to miss low. And obviously high throws are going to end in more turnovers than missing low.
Can't miss high. Those get picked.
Yeah, Matt Corral to me, I think he's the safest guy of any of these guys. I think absolutely is an NFL quarterback.
Are we gonna do our favorite hits and misses of our personal?
Sure.
Are we gonna do those? Okay. One of mine was one I got right, technically, and one that I was wrong about was Joe Burrow. I was right because I liked Herbert more than him. Close, but we'll take Herbert at this point.
Did you like Tua more than
Tua.
him?
That's the same. Also Tua. But I think at the quarterback position.
Here's the thing. I think you're not crazy if you say that Joe Burrow is better than Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert has more arm talent.
He's more talented.
But arm talent is not the end-all, be-all of playing quarterback.
I'm trying to say something.
Okay. I'm just, I'm a Joe Burrow dick rider.
I know.
Had to get out there.
But I'm trying to say nice things.
Go on.
What a lot of times I for sure overlook, especially at the quarterback position, is that mentality, is the Matt Corral, Joe Burrow mindset, dog, guys will play for you. I think that's important at that position. I overlooked it.
Corral, and a thing with really any player is fourth down game on the line, low heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking
ice in his veins.
Lives for it.
Total dog. Yeah. Gamer. 100%.
Lives for it.
Very much like Burrow in that
of
sense.
all these guys, Pickett's a little bit that way too, but he's just less talented. But Pickett is that way. I mean, he's big spots all year, converted a bunch of huge third downs, was in the clutch. His clutch stats are good. But Corral's just a more talented quarterback on top of that, I think, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, with your quarterback, just a dude that's about it. And, you could see all his teammates fucking loved him.
Yeah, the Bengals they'll play for a fucking guy like Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Play their heart out because he will put it on the line. He will take the hit. Dude got murdered in the pocket and just kept getting up. Dude just kept peeling his corpse off the field and getting back in there until he blew out his knee because of it. It's just you can't quantify. You can't.
Yeah.
Matt Corral has that.
Yeah. I'm kind of talking myself into Matt Corral just being a nice little quarterback. Like,
I think he is too. I think the upside with Willis is there that you could argue he should be over
the
him.
Other shit is so bad with Willis that I think it's beyond repair.
There's one thing that's egregiously bad, and it's reading a defense. And that's not going to get easier.
I would argue that's as important as the other stuff, really. Like, Carson Strong's got a good arm too.
It's very teachable. Like, you can improve it.
Man, but it's from you're starting from such a bad position.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what? I'll take Corral too. Fuck it.
Yeah. I'm so surprised that Kenny Pickett is like ahead of him on this prospect stuff. Like, what does he do that is better?
He can be like mid and like keep your job as a GM. I don't know.
How is Corral not that also?
I don't know.
Like, I don't know. Like, Corral to me is everything Kenny Pickett does, but better in every conceivable way. I do not understand the Corral hate to me.
I agree.
I do not get it.
Any other interesting player, team comps, or not comps, choices for the rest of the draft? We kind of went through the top 10 or 12.
I don't know about team fit. I haven't looked too much into that. I have made a list of players I think are going too low.
Okay. Everyone on Georgia's defense?
Kyle Hamilton. Already talked about him.
Yeah, you love him. Best player in the draft, I heard.
These three defensive ends, I've kind of like flip-flopped all around. I thought Thibodeau should go for Hutchinson. Now I think Hutchinson should go before Walker. Like we said, it's a purely philosophical dilemma.
Take your choice.
Basically.
I don't know shit.
After Kyle Hamilton, the number one guy that I think is going too low, and the same thing with kind of Hamilton is that like positional skill is like Nakobe Dean to me is a surefire superstar middle linebacker.
A little small.
This is what I don't fucking get.
A little
the
small.
NFL, all we're talking about is like, we got to get smaller, we got to get faster, we got to get more quick. The best linebacker in the country is small and fast and quick. Oh, but he's too small. It's like, well, which one fucking is it? What do we want, more speed, or do we want big lumbering fucks out there? The best linebacker in the country on the best defense in the country is fast and small and fucking moves side to side with the best of them.
On a defense full of first and second round picks,
he stood out. He stood out. He jumps off the page. And a defense that basically every player on that team is going to get drafted, probably 7 of them in the first round.
Yeah, crazy.
Like the best defense of all time. And he, other than Jordan Davis, stood out more than anybody on the field. Yep. Jordan Davis, also on the list going too low. A guy that I think will absolutely destroy your game plan. Just cannot game plan for him. Will require 2 blockers and makes the rest of your life fucking hell. Good luck running it between the tackles with that dude in there.
And even like overperformed at the combine. Like jumped off the page even more rather outside of just like on tape, just game record, just ran wild numbers for as big as he is.
A literal human refrigerator that is fast as shit.
Yeah.
I'm seeing him going like 20s. Like,
I think if he's there for the Ravens.
I don't know.
Right?
I don't know anything, but it seems like the NFL draft especially, there's so many guys, it's like, it can't be this hard. Like, when you're evaluating, like, what do you think? Like, look at him. Look at him. What do you think?
The Ravens,
who are you taking instead?
The Ravens pick at 14. I don't think he'll get past them. I think he'll go 14.
Like, guys with Jordan Davis, it's like, as an evaluator, what could he have done?
Poke holes in that.
What's wrong?
It's just I don't know.
What's wrong?
He's not a pass rusher. He can't play on third down. That's the rub. Doesn't play on third down. He's a run stuffer.
Well, we're gonna have a lot of 3rd and 20s if he's our fucking D tackle.
That's all. I'm just saying.
I know it's
that you're gonna draft in the top 15 a 2-down player when you could take an edge, a corner.
He's gonna be sick
receiver.
for those 2 downs though.
Yes, he was very, very good for Georgia, but did not show the ability to rush the passer, play on the third down. That's why. So,
Another guy we already talked
Who else?
about, Jameson Williams, going too low, and that's just because of his injury. Had he not got injured, he would go higher. But to me, it's like
I think he would go in the top 10.
To me, it's like it's an ACL. Like
He's just not going to be ready to start the season.
and like, but if you're one of these teams that's picking the top 10, you don't want to win. You're not good. Like, who cares if he's not ready to play the first week? Are you trying to win the first week of the season?
You have to have the right GM and owner, and because like the Panthers aren't gonna, they can't do, like
Here's my
someone
but
in the
like
Panther
you can also be
situation-
like you just punt on that pick and be like, oh, this guy's hurt, he's not ready. Like I got to get another year.
yeah.
That's maybe not how that works always, but to me,
NFL
he
is
is
about job preservation.
He's
and
de facto the best talent, most talented wide receiver.
taking a player like that, basically punting on the first year, is not exactly
and
job preservation 101.
I mean, he's not gonna miss the whole year. He tore his ACL, right?
Yeah.
SEC title game. What is that usually, like a 7-8 month injury?
I mean, that's
nowadays.
quick. And then you're
9-month injury.
I would say it's, to be safe, 9, 8.5, 9.
So that probably just
But
sit him
he's-
out the whole year. I mean, if you draft him,
Depending on
if
the
you
team.
use that much draft
He's-
capital on him,
He's also
probably just won't
quote
play him.
ahead of schedule, which is like, it seems like everyone says. I don't
he's
know.
freak athlete,
He's moving around.
I
and
believe it.
doing drills and stuff already. So I don't know. Maybe he misses half the season. But either way, teams that are trying to win now, the Jets are trying to make a step. Like, you just can't wait. You need.
Yeah, no, I get it. But he's
It's
just
tough to wait
he's
around.
just the best receiver available.
I would agree.
He just is.
If he didn't tear his ACL, he would go in the top 10.
Yeah. Another guy who got hurt that is a freak and seems to have every coach that coaches against him is like, this dude wrecked our game plan. He's an absolute freak of nature. Had a terrible injury, David Ojabo from Michigan, the D end,
That was
which
sad.
is fucking sad. He tore his Achilles doing workouts,
Drills,
doing workouts for the combine or for his pro day or something.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of people were like, these pro days are fucking stupid, especially for these defenders. Like, we're not gaining anything from this. Them risking injury at all is kind of silly. Like, watching a defensive end do drills in spandex does absolutely
Assuming
nothing for me.
they've run, assuming they've.
Yeah, and even like if you run the 40, do that. But he was doing like a
He picked a pass off, and
Yeah.
he's an edge rusher. What the fuck are we doing?
Doing stupid shit. A lot of people are like, we don't need to do
Yeah.
these workouts.
I think he's going to go in the first round still. I think someone in a situation where they can take a year off and get the 5th year option for the end of the first round, I think would be smart.
He'll be a guy
him
like
a-
2 years from now that he's like, where the fuck did this guy come from?
Yeah.
And I'll just tell you now, David Ojabo, Michigan, absolute animal. Like, not totally out of the question. He's the best edge rusher in the class. Like,
Yeah,
could
he was
happen.
going to go in the top 10 probably if he didn't get hurt.
Could
I think.
happen.
I think my favorite player in the class is Ahmad Gardner.
Yeah.
Another corner I like is Trent McDuffie from Washington. Another kind of long, rangy boundary guy that plays pretty good man coverage, like him a lot. I can't decide between the receivers. I just don't know. I'll take a flyer in the second. I'll take
Christian Watson,
Watson.
Alec Pierce.
I'll
They're
take
the guys
Watson.
I'm taking stands
I like
on.
Watson.
Alec Pierce, I like him. I had one more guy on these guys
Go
that I
ahead.
think are going too low. Another safety, Lewis Seen from Georgia.
Yeah,
I think he's a freak. 4.3 speed at safety is a fucking cheat code.
yeah. Got any running back takes?
I think Breece Hall is really good. He seems to be close to kind of the consensus best running back from a lot of
Him
people.
or Kenneth Walker. I think those two have separated themselves.
I would say Kenneth Walker, after he ran a 4.440, would be the number one running back for me on my board. If you're a fantasy guy, if he gets in the right spot, I think Kenneth Walker could be a very effective running back straight off the gate because he was not only a freak athlete but incredibly productive at Michigan State. I think him and Breece Hall are definitely the two best runners. Everyone else,
Doesn't seem like there's a lot of steam for a running back in the first round.
no, I don't. I would be shocked. I don't because Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker, they don't really jump off the page in any way.
No, I mean, fucking Jonathan Taylor went in the second round, for fuck's sake.
Mm-hmm. He's much better than these guys
By a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else on the draft? Do you want to talk a couple our misses and our hits here?
Oh yeah. We can do that. One thing that I keep seeing, a bunch of people are saying, and this guy keeps skyrocketing off draft boards, but every single person that I see that evaluates players is saying this tackle from Northern Iowa is bad. but he keeps
He's bad?
Yeah, I'm seeing a
Really?
bunch of people that are like, this dude
Is that
his
Penning?
feet-
Trevor
yeah,
Penning?
Trevor Penning. They're saying his feet are bad. He's slow.
I saw someone
He's
comp him to
gonna
Kyle Turley. He's extremely mean. He like does weird shit before the game and gets fired up. He watches like Saw before the game. He's like a mauler, real mean.
to me-
strong hands.
Mean is like, are you athletic? Can you move at all? It's like
That-
everyone in the
like
NFL's fucking
physical,
mean.
like physical and very strong.
What I'm seeing is like he just doesn't have the lateral speed. Like guys
have
with
the-
speed are just going to
doesn't have the feet.
absolutely blow him off the fucking line.
I've seen a few people that like him all right, and then a few
like
that have
I saw him
concerns.
going like 12th,
Ugh.
which was just like
I've
he
seen him
played
go-
at Northern Iowa, and you're saying he has slow feet.
I've
Just
seen him go in the
screams
20s.
screams bust to me.
Yeah.
Trevor Penning, Northern Iowa tackle. Yeah, I've seen a lot of like highlights. It's like, oh, he's mean. He like lays on people and yells. And it's like, well, if you can't even get a hand on me, then I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
Everyone in the NFL is a little bit mean. Like being mean, I don't give a fuck about that. We're all professional athletes. We're all gigantic freaks.
Yeah. No real strong takes. I've heard some, mostly lukewarm, some good.
I'm just
on
seeing. I
him.
feel like he just keeps going up draft boards, which is surprising to me.
I've seen Devin Lloyd ahead of Nakobe Dean. Just kind of
Utah linebacker. Yeah, I don't know
More
much
of a-
about Devin Lloyd,
a
but
bigger, more physical run stopper type
Nakobe,
guy.
yes,
Can
I'm
play in the pass a little bit. Yeah.
just not going to take a linebacker before Nakobe Dean, if it's me.
Yeah, that's fair. A player that I will hang
Nakobe Dean gives me big Devin White vibes for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, good player. One of the best linebackers in the
Best
league.
middle linebacker in the league, arguably, on whenever they won the Super Bowl, the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah, very, very good. That is a good comp. I like that. Pretty fast. A player I'll hang my hat on for the rest of my life.
We're going to players we thought were going to be good.
Yes.
We're going to misses or hits.
Or
I guess.
hits.
I didn't do any hits.
I have a few hits.
Okay.
I'm gonna hang my hat on him for the rest of my life. Playing that bowl game at Michigan State, I said Le'Veon Bell is a Hall of Fame running back.
Okay. I don't think he's going to be all.
I don't think he is either because
But-
of the end of his career, how it went.
Really good
Dude
running
was
back,
the
though.
best running back for like 3 or 4 years in the
Yeah.
NFL. Dude
Yeah.
was nasty.
Yeah, really good.
Playing that bowl game for Michigan State when he had like 300 rushing yards,
Yeah.
I said, this guy, I've never seen a runner like this. He's incredible. And he was. He turned out to be incredible.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
Awesome running back. And then kind of lost the plot a bit. But I was right.
You
I'm
were.
going to hang my hat on that for the rest of my life.
I'll give you that.
I've already talked about Herbert over Burrow as a hit. And on that same draft, those 3 quarterbacks would have taken 2 over Burrow as well. So 1 hit, 1 miss. You can argue if the hit really counts. It's only a couple years in. But one's been to a Super Bowl and one hasn't.
Okay.
I'll go through a few hits that are just like kind of funny or whatever. I knew Drew Lock stinks. He played at Missouri.
Yeah, I could have told you that.
Terrible. DK Metcalf said he was good. People didn't take him because he like 3-cone.
Dude, it's 3-cone, dude.
He went at the end of the second round.
6 cones of 4-240.
He's
I'll
a
say
man
this.
mountain freak show. I was like, look at him. Look what he does. He's good. And I was right.
Is there any credence to Christian Watson, DK Metcalf?
Yeah.
Like, dude, he's big and stiff. He's gigantic, and he runs a 4.240.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's 6'5", runs a 4.31.
He's a fucking freak, guys. Christian Watson, again, a lot of times, I feel like we overthink this type of stuff.
Yeah. The rest of my quote-unquote hits, or I was right, are just saying that bad quarterbacks were bad.
Yeah.
Josh Rosen stinks. Mitch Trubisky stinks. Blake Bortles stinks. Manziel, Christian Ponder, Jake Locker, all stunk.
That'll
Could've
get to
told
one
you
of
that.
mine.
Could have told you that.
I was all in on Jake Locker. I thought Jake
Really?
Locker was going to be a star. I was like,
He could run, but he could run.
He could run and he could throw. There was a significant amount of time where he was supposed to be the number 1 pick in the draft. He was supposed to be can't miss.
Early teens
He
or
went
something?
8th, I think.
8th?
I was, because Cam Newton went first, and I was for sure like, you're going to be sorry. He should absolutely go before Cam Newton. Cam Newton stinks. Cam Newton can't throw. To this day, I was right. Cam Newton can't throw. But
Nope.
I was like, nah, Jake Locker for sure. And to be fair, he retired early due to some injury stuff, so we never know.
You never got to see the full Jake Locker
He kind of
experience.
just like, I don't want to play football anymore. And just kind of stopped playing.
Yeah.
So we don't know the potential Jake Locker had. I'd say
it was at a time in the NFL where we were transitioning to the Jake Locker type. You got to move a bit. You got to have some escapability in the pocket. He was a little before his time.
He was. I still hold out hope that maybe I was a little bit right about Jake Locker.
Okay.
And then again, another player drafted Tennessee. I thought Marcus Mariota was going to be a Hall of Famer. Thought he was going to be an absolute superstar.
Agree. I have him on the list.
I was like, and it wasn't that I was anti-Jameis either. I was like, I think Jameis will be very good also. I was just like, this is going to be an elite quarterback class. This is going to be 1 and 2. They're both going to be vying for, it's going to be Tampa Bay and Tennessee in the Super Bowl in a few years. These guys are both animals.
I have him on my misses too. Thought he was going to be sick.
He's a weird one because his first 2 years he was good.
Yeah.
And then he just like was bad.
Yeah. He has a weird motion.
Well,
Probably could have
he
seen
was
it coming.
like 25 touchdowns, 6 interceptions his second year. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
What changed?
Yeah. I didn't write this down.
Maybe he'll have a little renaissance in Atlanta this year. Maybe he'll set the world on fire.
It could be okay. He got some snaps for the Raiders a bit. He can still move. I don't know. The motion's not great though.
Yeah.
Speaking of the motion's not great, I didn't write this one down, but Vince Young, one of my favorite players ever.
I will also hold out on this, that Vince Young's ability to play football was not the reason it didn't work out. Vince Young's brain was the reason it didn't work out.
That's fair.
Vince Young,
but it didn't work out. And
absolutely melting down and then becoming a fat slob is the reason that he was not bad.
Either way,
he was the rookie of the year. He was incredibly effective when he played, and then he just was booed probably for the first time in his career when he was 24 and just couldn't handle it.
Yeah. Speaking of tough throwing motions.
Yeah, it was quick though, quick release, but
flingy and kind of side
again.
Who else?
Piggybacking on the Vince Young, Matt Leinart. I was like,
I was never a
can't
Leinart
miss.
guy.
I was like, cover boy, fucking Tom Brady, fucking just you can build a franchise around a Matt Leinart. Given I was 9 years old or however old I was,
he was cool. Him and Reggie Bush running the world.
Yeah, this dude's dating like fucking Paris Hilton when he's in college. Like,
sweet.
He's got it all.
Yeah.
He's got it all.
He really did. For like 3 years, he was...
It's like Carson Palmer. He just worked out. He's sick in the NFL.
Yeah.
He's going to come right back behind. Pete Carroll, he's got an absolute factory.
No doubt.
Leinert's going to be a stud. He was not.
Another quarterback, a more recent one. I wasn't totally sold. Same draft as Mr. Trubisky. Wasn't totally sold on Deshaun Watson right away.
Okay, I was like first quarterback off the board, like can't miss. This dude's a fucking star. I was all in.
I wasn't
on
sold
Deshaun.
on the throwing, but he's another guy. Just
Moxie,
total
winner.
Yeah,
winner.
Same type of mentality. Yeah,
Rapist.
So what? Confirmed bad guy. So who's the real winner?
Yeah,
here?
maybe
maybe I
right.
didn't miss.
It should have been out. Yeah, it's maybe a giant piece of shit.
Yeah,
so.
maybe definitely.
That's not good.
A couple weird ones. I thought Kerryon Johnson was going to be sick.
Kerryon Johnson, okay.
Played at Auburn, got drafted by the Lions, and just kind of went. Speaking of degenerative knees, just couldn't stay on the field. Really thought he was going to be good. Wasn't. Tavon Austin.
Yeah, I mean everybody thought Tavon Austin was going to be sick.
My Rams drafted him at 8.
Still the greatest highlight tape of all time.
I was like, how could this miss? He's electric.
Yeah.
Just give him the ball. He returns punts. He's taking into rounds. He's Deebo Samuel before Deebo Samuel.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
so we missed there. To this day, I'm still taking Justin Blackmon in the top 10 of that draft. You remember Justin Blackmon?
Yeah. He was, I mean, and again, like, I don't think we were wrong. The evaluation of his talent, I don't think was incorrect. He was just an absolute disaster of a person.
Yeah, real shithead.
An absolute shithead. Like, your evaluation that he was a good football player, I don't think was incorrect. He was
I think you're right.
An absolute fucking idiot. Like, he played like 5 games in the NFL. He was just suspended the entire time he was in the league.
Yeah.
He is Josh Gordon-like, but he never had like the one season to be like, see?
He had like 1,600 yards. Yeah.
Look at this.
Still sold on his talent. Think he's sweet. Shout out Illinois, Aurelius Ben.
I had him on mine too. I don't understand.
He went in the second round, like pretty early. He went like 40th overall.
He was the number 1 recruit in the country when he came to Illinois. He was
so
a
sick in
blue
college.
chip.
Yeah.
He was a star. He was toolsy as hell. He was out of the NFL in like 3 years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's a miss.
What happened?
That's a miss for me.
What happened?
I don't know. I don't know. You have any other ones? That's most of mine.
I remember, this one's as bad as it gets. I remember in 2014, I was a St. Louis Rams fan. I was like, Aaron Donald, this dude is tiny. What the fuck are we doing?
Tell me this guy plays tackle?
This dude's fucking 5'10".
He's short.
I don't care if he's fast. He plays tackle.
Dude,
this
he's
dude's
short.
bad. We should have taken fucking... I don't know who went after him. I was like, I remember I was like, Odell went the pick before. I was like, we need a receiver. I don't want fucking Aaron Donald. What the fuck? And then the next year, another one of these picks, it's just like, oh, Kevin White went ahead of us. If we'd got Kevin White, we would have been great.
Some talent on the perimeter.
We needed Kevin White.
I want a short
running back. Todd Gurley. That's not going to work.
Yeah, in the top 10.
And that Todd Gurley.
I didn't like the Gurley pick either. It's still too early for running back, and he was very good for the Rams.
Yeah, got them to play in the Super Bowl because of him.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
Let's see what else.
Anybody else?
Trent Richardson, thought he was going to be a star. Whoops.
I was never all in or anything like that on him, but yeah, that was a weird one.
Especially like Mark Ingram was right before him. It's just like this just makes sense.
You're just him.
You'll just be Mark Ingram.
Yeah.
Goff and Wentz, I was out on both of them. I was like, nope, not feeling it.
I didn't have many strong takes. I know they gave up
Jared Goff is
shitload.
Jared Goff is the number one pick. I was like, no shot. If I've never heard of this guy and he's going to be the number one pick, that tells me something.
Quarterbacks go high, dude.
Thought Josh Allen was going to be terrible. Thought he was going to be an absolute disaster.
To be fair, was.
Yeah, his rookie year was really bad.
First 2 years were shaky at best.
Yeah.
And then he was like, nah, I'm just sick.
What an anomaly that is.
Yeah.
That never happens.
No.
Ever.
People don't just like add 15% to their completion percentage.
That's
like, no, I got it now.
People are gonna draft some bad quarterbacks too high because of Josh Allen.
Carson Strong?
He's not gonna go high.
No, he's not.
And Josh Allen's an incredible runner.
Yeah, he can run real good.
Carson Strong.
He run good.
His knees already don't work. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Who has worse knees, me or Carson Strong?
Probably him.
That's tough. That's bad news.
Percy Harvin.
Yeah.
Although
okay.
More injuries rather than
was
than his ability to play football.
Touchdown Super Bowl.
Yeah.
People forget that.
Jeremy Maclin, thought he was going to be an absolute
he was okay,
stud.
though.
Yeah, but I thought he was going to be like all pro, like all world.
Always loved Jeremy Maclin's name. Always loved Jeremy Maclin. That just rolls.
USC safety Taylor Mays. I was like, this dude's Ed Reed. This dude's Sean Taylor. He's hard hitter, fast. Was always like a 99 overall in the video games, and then just kind of was like a journeyman rotational safety in the NFL.
Yeah.
Manti Te'o, thought he was going to be a Hall of Fame middle linebacker.
Yeah.
Thought he was going to be a stud.
Yeah.
The whole fake girlfriend thing. What a fucking saga that is.
What?
Saga. Someone's got to write a 30 for 30
no
about
shot that happened. When was that?
I was junior in high school, I think, so that would have been like 2011, 2012 probably.
Imagine if
I'm trying to think. Was he on the team when they played in the national championship against Alabama and they lost?
Killed? Yeah.
He was on that team?
Yeah.
So that would have been 2011, I think.
I think you're right.
2011 or 2012.
Imagine if Twitter was at the peak of its powers when that was one of the wildest stories I've ever seen.
Said she died. They talked about that on College Game Day a bunch of times.
Yeah. What happened there?
He had some girlfriend on the internet that he never met who I guess told him that she died, or the person running this account told him that she died.
I have a similar story.
Okay, go ahead.
Basically that.
Does it happen to you?
Yes.
What?
Yes. I would have been in 6th or 7th grade.
Okay.
And it's the peak of like MSN and shit, And someone that was in my grade, my class, like made someone up.
But they didn't tell you that they died.
Yes.
Explain.
What do you mean explain?
How did this go down?
She was
give me the full start from the top.
This girl's in my class. MSN's popping off, and she was like, "Hey, I have this friend that lives in like an hour away. She thinks you're cute, whatever, blah blah, 7th grade shit." And I start talking to her on MSN. We start chatting, And it's just this girl from my class.
Mm-hmm.
And then that happens for, I don't even know, a couple weeks, a month, or, we're just chatting. I think this person's a friend of a classmate. And she just like bailed on it and was like, oh, yeah, she died. Dude. Swear to God. And my classmates were like, before she did that, was like, dude, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
I don't think this is real.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you're just jealous. You don't know shit. No, it was tough.
Yeah. No, that is tough.
I was like,
you got to ask for
I was like 11 or something. I don't know.
Consistent flow of pictures of the person. Now it's like, it's so sus.
Really
it's,
funny
it's,
when you
yeah,
think
no,
about
it's
it.
funny. And it happened at that age. It's like, it's a good lesson to learn, I guess.
Yeah, really.
Don't trust anyone ever.
No.
I mean, literally the best defensive prospect in the world. Like, just had a fake girlfriend. And also there's some talk that he was lying about it.
Yeah,
I don't know
weird.
why he would lie about that.
I don't know.
That's
But anyways, I'm the Manti Te'o of my junior high.
that rocks.
Yeah.
That fucking rocks.
Pretty funny.
Yeah, that's really all I have. Ooh, Dontari Poe. Do you remember him?
Really? You had a strong take on him?
He was much like Jordan Davis. Like, this dude's the biggest human I've ever seen
He's
in
a
my
house.
life. There was a game where he blocked a game-winning kick. He just it seemed like something out of a movie. Like, we're gonna put the big fat guy in there. He's gonna bowl over 5 guys,
And he
he's
did it.
Roll right up the middle
Yeah.
and block this kick, and he did it.
Yeah.
And he caught a touchdown in the NFL once. That was cool.
That was cool. So you're probably right. I
I
think that's a hit.
He played in the NFL, but I was like, this dude's Warren Sapp. He was not, but
Right. It's Warren Sapp. Exactly.
not quite Warren Sapp. But yeah, it's I don't
that good
have
for the-
much more NFL. No, I think I've gotten all my takes off.
We've
for
gone
the
a while.
draft. Any quick NBA stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't give a shit how long this goes.
No, I got to get this.
We're talking
get
about
these
the
takes
NBA.
off.
We're recording this. What is today? Monday? Tuesday?
Nets just got swept.
It's Monday.
A few hours ago.
Yeah, Nets just got swept a few hours ago. You said you had some things you want to talk about. Please.
So the things
Floor
to
is
talk
yours.
about, there's 3 things to talk about. How good is Jayson Tatum? What do the Nets do next year? What does this mean for Kevin Durant? What does this mean for his legacy? Does this hurt in any way what you think of Kevin Durant?
Yes.
Explain.
It's tough with the injuries. I'll give him that. Like, the most daunting, career-altering injury, any sport. To come back from that and to be what he has been impressive at 33. But I think although he beat him twice, to put him in a tier with LeBron and some other all-time greats, it's a little shaky now. At 33, LeBron James dragged an abysmal roster to the finals and lost to one of the best teams of all time.
You could argue he didn't play a player that was anywhere close to the caliber of Jayson Tatum.
Probably.
That could
he
be a
also didn't
counter-argument.
play with a player close to the caliber of Kyrie.
What was
Played
that,
with Kevin Love and J.R. Smith, and that was when he left, right?
2018 is the season you're talking about? The season after Kyrie left?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Did he really even play with Kyrie this year? He was on the court for these games, but Kyrie is just as flaky gets, as unreliable. If you're the Nets, what do you do? Because if you just let him walk, he's an all-time great Hall of Fame. We saw in that first game what he's capable of. But at the same time, if you sign him to a multi-year deal, we just can't trust that we're going to get anything out of you. It's incredibly likely that year 2, he's just I don't want to play anymore. I retire. I'm going to go live in fucking Cambodia with some fucking monks.
I don't think the NBA and NBA franchises are in the business of letting assets like that walk for nothing.
My other thing is I was going through Trade Machine. Who's going to trade for him?
No, I just mean walk in free agents, leave without.
I get
that.
that.
They'll offer him.
They will, and that's what I'm saying. It's like it's such a tough spot for them. Like
you think you just have to, I guess. And,
you do,
and try
but
to
that's
improve the rest of the roster.
There's
around those
not a good outcome for the Nets in this situation. I don't think. Like maybe Kyrie plays 80 games and he's just good. I don't see that ever happen.
I think with Durant and him next year with a revamped roster, maybe Simmons plays. I don't know. I think you could try it again.
I think there's a strong chance Ben Simmons never plays a game for the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, I think that's on the table for sure.
You want some fake trades that I came up with?
Yeah.
3-teamer. The Brooklyn Nets receive Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle. The New York Knicks receive Kyrie Irving. The Utah Jazz receive Ben Simmons, Cam Reddish, and draft picks.
What a weird Nets team that would be. Durant,
Gobert, Randle.
Fucking that's kind of gross.
KD,
Bruce Brown.
Yeah.
Patty Mills. Yeah, it's kind of a gross team.
Need some more scoring.
Why would anyone trade for Ben Simmons?
I don't know.
Yikes.
What is that dude's deal?
Talk to me about Stephen A. You said you...
Like, so what he's saying is not wrong, but do I, in my heart of hearts, believe that he's faking this back injury? Yes. But to go on ESPN, a very public platform, and
call him like
absolutely assume
coward.
And call him basically a coward piece of shit that should kill himself. He didn't say he should kill himself, but he's
That's
just
aggressive.
like...
He didn't say that.
He obviously didn't say that, but he's like, you're absolute fucking scum, and I hate you with every fiber of my being. Not like... His back could be hurt. I don't think his back was hurt enough tonight that he just didn't come to the game. That seems pretty convenient that tonight is the night your back really flared up. To me, it's just a little aggressive from Stephen A.
It probably was.
It just got a little beyond basketball and a little like you're an absolute piece of shit person.
Personal.
I don't like it. It's like you'd never spoken to Ben Simmons before. To say he's like a piece of shit and you hate him is a little weird to me.
It did seem a little personal, but
does he deserve criticism? Yes.
As I said, that's the business he's in.
Yeah, but it's just like Stephen A. It's like, but at this point, it is the business that he's in. But like, in my opinion, and maybe it's just like people on Twitter, but it's just like everyone knows it's just all an act. So it's like, at what point?
They still tune in for it though.
At what point does it get to? It's like we all like get its joke. So it's like, is he almost being ironic, which is like almost even cooler, I guess. So maybe he just should keep doing it. It's a very strange,
I don't know,
philosophical thing with him and the Skip Bayless of it all. It's very.
I thought he was a little harsh, but.
And with the Kyrie stuff, too,
it's
it's like he's the most unreliable player in the history of the NBA. It's like, I guess.
Yeah, he was unreliable. That's
Ron
true.
Artest went in the crowd and beat the shit out of a guy.
Shouldn't have been standing there.
Fucking plenty of guys just blew their entire careers up their noses and fucking...
He shouldn't have threw shit at him on the scores table.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just... I want your take on the Durant. So
He's still an all-time great to me. I think Kevin Durant was put in an incredibly impossible situation this year. I don't think this year could have had more bumps in the road than it did. There couldn't have been more distractions. The fact that he had any type of season at all. He also had a fairly bad injury, and I do think it is just time to admit, like, LeBron poisons your mind, and maybe he just gets a little worse when he's 33 years old. That's
I've never
not
seen
uncommon.
him look like that.
That's not uncommon.
He got dominated.
Also, maybe we should just be giving credit to Jayson Tatum rather than detracting from Kevin Durant. Because
if we redraft
Jayson Tatum
we just did,
yeah,
I'm not taking anyone but him after Giannis.
Okay. This is the next shows I wanted to do. I'm just going to read off players. You tell me right now, is Jayson Tatum better than they are? Right now. Not like for 10 years do I want him. Right now, better basketball player.
You could read those names if we just make it really short.
I'll just go fast because I think the people at home, they'll obviously have different opinions, so I'm going to read a lot of names.
Okay, go ahead.
Paul George.
Tatum.
Trae Young.
Not even close.
Some of these people are injured, so assuming they're 100%. Damian Lillard.
Not even close.
Anthony Davis.
Not even close.
John Morant.
Closer. Tatum for sure.
Jimmy Butler.
Tatum.
James Harden.
Not even close. Tatum.
Devin Booker.
Getting closer. Still Tatum.
Chris Paul.
Tatum.
Luka Doncic.
Now we're talking Tatum. We could have made this really short. Giannis and then Tatum.
Best player in the entire NBA?
Yeah. Giannis and then Tatum. Jayson Tatum just fucking owned Kevin Durant for 4 games. Who's the de facto number 2 best? Fucking owned him.
Sunned him.
Both ends. Durant ended up scoring 35 or 38 tonight. But
on like 30 plus shots though. Like
he was firing up. He had no choice. They were trying to come back in that game. I've never seen anyone in Durant's career make him look like that.
Yeah.
Dude got owned. No one else. Giannis, Tatum. End of conversation.
Kawhi Leonard.
Nope.
Stephen Curry.
Nope.
LeBron James.
Sorry, LeBron.
Joel Embiid.
Not right now. Nope.
Nikola Jokic.
I think those two are close. You could argue. They do different things. Embiid brings a little more defense than Jokic, more playmaking with Jayson fucking Tatum.
Here's some things I will say. There are times still where, and this is Jayson Tatum played incredible. Jayson Tatum is fucking a revelation this series. If I'm gonna, like, this is what we got to do. Got to poke holes.
Please do.
Got to
Please do.
Pick nits. In terms of like the overall like control of the game, controlling the pace, situational awareness, he does still have some fuck ups. Like the fact he fouled out in that game, like, because, and here's the thing, like with Jayson Tatum, where he's at now, we're like comparing him to all time greats. It's like, would Kobe have fouled out in that game? Would LeBron have fouled out in that game? Would Kevin Durant have fouled out in that game? I don't think so. I think they have the wherewithal. I don't think they make those decisions. I think they have enough presence of mind to understand, like guys like Durant and those guys, like from the tip of the ball, they know like exactly how many possessions are in the game. They know I need to score this much by this much. Like I have this entire game mapped out before it even happens. And I think Jayson Tatum, rightfully so at whatever he's 24 years old, still has a little room to grow on that.
Yeah.
And if he just keeps playing like this the whole series, then yeah, like for the whole playoffs, I should say.
I need Giannis Tatum.
He's all time, and
So
we're
bad.
going to get it. It's going to happen. So, if Jayson Tatum, it'll suck. We need Middleton to come back because it'll suck if we have the caveat. It's like, well, he didn't have Middleton, so I need there to be no excuses in that series. I need it to be team on team.
Is hot.
I will say with the Celtics, when Tatum was out, the scoring, they were not.
This is not about the Celtics. This is about
options.
Tatum. The defense.
The defense he was playing was
intoxicating,
impressive.
Just incredible, smothering. The best score I've ever seen in my life. Blocking Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I was talking about the Suns'
up.
defense. The Celtics are the best defense.
It's disgusting. It's awesome.
Bucks have very good defense also.
It'll be fun. It'll be a good series.
Defense
I think it'll
also.
be a really good series.
Big
concern is if you can take it out of Tatum's hands,
if Tatum can do it with Drew Holiday draped all over him for 7 games, then he's really that guy.
You got to think they'll try Giannis a bit on him.
It'll be a mix. They got a lot of rangy, athletic guys.
Holiday fits probably better on Brown, but they'll probably mix it
Jaylen
up.
Brown's not been very good these
No.
playoffs. He's not been very impressive at all, really. He's kind of and I hate to always do this. I hate to always do this because I feel like a lot of guys will playoffs are over and be like, "Oh, I was hurt. That's why I played bad." Like Steph in 2016, he said he was hurt, and I was just like, "You hurt or did you lose?" And then you were hurt. But he does just look a little like step slow, not as explosive as he usually was. A little like hesitant, kind of. That could just be me imagining things, but especially in this game tonight, he just looked a little not himself. If like that's the thing with the Celtics, like
right now, Tatum
or who? Are you asking me the same questions?
I think there's only a handful of guys that you could consider.
I would still. I would for sure have Jokic and Embiid over him still. And then I would have KD or him. And then LeBron.
We just watched it.
But I've seen Kevin Durant do it for ever.
Yeah.
I've seen Jayson Tatum not that long ago look bad. Beginning of this year, he looked bad.
But the
I get it right now, but
trajectory, he's supposed to continue to get better.
he does this the whole playoffs. I'll firmly have him. I'll be able to firmly move him ahead. But 4 games is not that many games.
I think it's reasonable for 33-year-old Durant off what would cripple people, other careers, just be like, yeah, he's just not what he used to be.
Yeah.
Like Tom Brady, LeBron, that's not normal.
No.
That's not normal what they're able to do. And I think expecting everyone, it's a very dangerous place that we're getting with just everything that's allowing athletes to play longer and be healthier. You get worse. Father Time, undefeated, except for against 2 people so far.
Yep. You could, if you want to say Steph, not gonna yell at you. Say Steph's
Over
better than
Tatum.
Jayson Tatum right now.
Yeah, that's
Luka also, if you want to say that, and if you want to say healthy Kawhi. I think it's easy to just forget Kawhi exists because he hasn't played in a year. But
yeah.
When Kawhi's right, we saw him play last year in the playoffs. He absolutely took over. Fucking
Yeah.
can absolutely control an entire series.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
don't forget how good Kawhi Leonard is.
It's a little prisoner of the moment, but
Yeah. And
I've
like
seen
I
it with
said,
my eyes.
we've seen 4 games, and he's incredible. If I see it and they go to the finals and he continues this level of play, yeah, he's top 5.
if
and
they
it's
take out
not
if he takes out
questionable.
the Bucks, man. Whew.
Yeah. If he takes out the Bucks and then he plays the Heat and he has like a steady diet of PJ Tucker, Jimmy Butler, fucking Bam Adebayo guarding him, and he can still put up these type of numbers, then you got it. Dude.
Crown him.
You got it, dude.
Yeah.
Here's
Anything else
the
on
other
this?
thing about this. On the flip side of that, what we saw from the series is I think you cannot argue Giannis is the best player in the NBA. He has established himself. He has
I've said
widened
that.
the gap.
Yeah, no
A
doubt.
lot of people were saying Kevin Durant, but it was better. But I think Giannis
We've
has
both
just established
said
himself that
Giannis.
he's the guy. He's the best player in the league.
No doubt. I think that's an absolute lock at this point. Anything else on this series?
Nope.
Folks, Joel Embiid's hurt.
Yep.
And the Raptors have taken the last 2 games. It's now 3-2. That game's over.
Yeah.
It's 3-2. And we're going back to Toronto for game 6.
Oh.
Not so fast.
The internet will fucking explode if James Harden and Doc Rivers blow this lead. The internet will collapse in on itself.
It's on the table. They beat him by 15 points.
Elon Musk, you're going to need to buy some more server space because we're going to be getting
Twitter
these fucking
is
takes off.
ablaze.
It's going to be burning up.
He's hurt, no question. He shot 7 for 15 tonight, 0 for 4 from 3, had 20 and 11, turned it over 4 times. Harden was 4 for 11, had 15 points. Maybe the Raptors are showing up. The Raptors we thought, the series we might get.
Without Van Vliet, I thought they were totally fucked. And they probably, I'd still pick the Sixers at this point to win the series.
Yeah, it's unlikely, but they did.
It's impossible to beat a team 4 times in a row if you're similar level of talent.
Not this team. Not Doc Rivers. Not James Harden.
Again, the other thing, they would be the first team in the history of the NBA to blow a 3-0 lead. It has never happened before in the NBA.
Never happened in the NBA. That's true.
So just that alone, regardless of any type of situation, it's wildly unlikely.
Star got hurt.
Nah, but he's still playing.
He's still playing.
He's not out.
Not himself.
And
Clearly not
they
himself.
still have a Hall of Fame level player on their team. They still have a top 25 caliber player on their team.
But he's an old and is a choke. If you consider
He
that.
is, and he's not really a guy that
We're not
shows up
talking-
in the big moments.
We're not talking about MVP Harden.
No.
And that Harden choked.
No. Yeah, you're right.
I'd no longer be stunned. Let's just say that. I think,
A 3-0 lead is just stunning regardless. Blowing a 3-0 lead is impossible.
but now that we're 3-2, wouldn't shock me.
Nah, I don't think so.
I think they're going to go to Toronto and get their ass kicked, and it's going to be tight bum times coming back to. They're going to be so tight.
I think the Raptors are going to be so up and so hyped up. They're going to lose in 6. They're going to lose in Toronto.
No.
Sixers in 6.
Now they
Sixers and 6.
Now they won't have Thibault going back to Toronto. Can't play because of COVID. I don't know if Van Vliet can play. Get him back. The place will be jumping.
He's done, dude. He's not playing.
What happened? He ripped his shirt.
He had a fucking...
Some with his hip?
Yeah, you could tell. He knew he's not playing. He's done. Probably done for the whole playoffs.
So that's bad.
Yeah.
If they go back to Philly 3-3, the pressure on them in that game would be must-watch TV. They collapsed. They folded like a cheap 10 against Atlanta last year at home. It's in their DNA.
High theater. This is why we watch,
their
folks.
DNA.
This is why we watch.
It's in Harden's. It's in Doc Rivers. I need it. I need a Game 7. I don't care what happens, but I need a Game 7.
Me betting on the Raptors to win this series, what an all-time comeback that would be. What an all-time fucking...
Literal all-time. Never happened.
Yeah, from the jaws of defeat.
Yeah. Your King Jokic pulled out a win. A little gentleman's sweep. A little pride win.
Here's something I want to go over. Okay. I logged every MVP's results in the playoffs since like 1999.
You're coming to your King's defense.
No, I'm not. I mean, it's as bad as anyone else. I mean, no one's ever gotten swept in the first round, so he would have been the only MVP ever to get swept in the first round, but not many lose in 5.
Yet, but it's assumed that he will.
Yeah, he's gonna. So last year he got swept in the second round. Jokic.
Who'd they get swept by?
Phoenix.
Okay.
20. Giannis lost 4-1 in the second round to Miami. 19. He lost in 6 in the Eastern Conference Finals to Toronto. 2018. Harden lost in 7 in the West Finals to Golden State. 17. Westbrook lost 4-1 to Houston in the first round.
There's another 4-1. Likely.
16. Steph lost in 7 in the finals to Cleveland. The other thing about this is the MVP almost never wins the finals. It's pretty rare.
Interesting.
15, Curry won the finals over Cleveland in 6. 14, Durant lost in the West Finals in 6 to San Antonio. 13, LeBron won the finals in 7. 12, LeBron won the finals in 5. 11, Rose lost 4-1 in the East Finals. 2010, LeBron lost in 6 in the second round. LeBron lost in 6 in the East Finals the year before. Kobe lost in 6 in the finals. Dirk lost in 6 in the first round. Nash lost back-to-back years in the West Finals. Garnett lost in the West Finals. Duncan won the finals and then lost in the finals the year before. Iverson lost in the finals. Shaq won the finals. So
Shaq, Duncan, and LeBron, the only 3 to win it.
Steph are the only players that won the finals as the MVP. LeBron did it twice. Duncan did it once, and Shaq did it once. So people lost the first round. Dirk lost in the first round. Russ lost in the first round. Dirk lost as a 1
seed in the first round, right?
Lost to an 8, which is not a good look, but eventually won the finals, so kind of made up for that.
Russ lost 4-1.
Russ lost 4-1. I thought for sure they got swept that year, but they didn't. Yeah, everyone else at least made it to the second round, I think. Most of the time.
I thought you were going to come with some facts and back up your King.
No, pretty bad.
Their team's terrible, though.
Their team's bad. One of the worst teams for an MVP.
Yeah. Maybe the lowest seed ever? I mean, they were the 6?
They were 6. Russ was also 6. He was the lowest before. 6 was the lowest whenever he won.
Yeah. Makes sense. I think we're done on the Philly series. You might be getting spicy.
Suns could lose.
Panic meter 1 to 10 right now.
6.9
for this series. Yeah, that's pretty high.
6.9.
Suns light. Suns light. I tried to tell everyone. I love the Pelicans. A month before the season ended, I love the Pelicans.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I love this team. Gideon McCollum was great. Herb Jones, awesome defender. I mean, obviously they're not beating him if Booker doesn't go down, but
Booker goes down, they lose pretty handily, but he did.
Doesn't go down. Yeah.
Yeah. If Booker plays, the Suns certainly win fairly easily.
He scored 31 in the first half. Tough cover. Panic mode.
I will say, I think maybe it'll continue because, it's a streaky game. I think they had a lot of players in the last game a lot of their role players played the game of their fucking lives in that last game that New Orleans just won.
Alvarado can't do this again?
Alvarado played the game of his fucking life. Herb Jones, who I think is a sick player, not so much the game of his life because he's just an incredible defender. I think he's going to win a Defensive Player of the Year at some point in his career.
Yeah, very well could.
Who else? Ingram's out of his mind. He's not playing the game of his life. He's just a really good player. Valanciunas probably had the best game he'll have this series, if I had to guess. On top of that, all of Phoenix's guys that aren't Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton played terrible in that game.
How did Ayton play last night? Did he play?
He was the leading scorer. The game before he was really good.
Yeah,
the last game he wasn't as good, but he was still
let him
close
score.
to 30 and 15. Chris Paul was actually pretty bad also. So
yeah.
Chris Paul was bad last game. I don't foresee the shooting to be as bad for Phoenix.
Counterpoint.
Cam Johnson and Michael Bridges seem to have just completely forgotten how to shoot.
Jay Crowder's a bad shooter, though.
He's better than this. Also, he's like very hessant shooting the ball, which is weird because usually he's like,
he'll let that thing
like,
sing.
I'll shoot this thing 10 times and go
yeah.
2 for 10. I don't give a fuck.
Nope.
He was passing up some open shots, which is a little
Cam
strange.
Johnson's missing a lot of shots. Bridges missing a lot of shots. To make or miss league.
Willie Green's a really good coach too. He's
and
giving them a lot of different looks
from that staff, as familiar with the team as anyone. That helps New Orleans' cause. Yeah, I think they're making it extremely difficult on Chris Paul. Alvarado, for the talent that he lacks, is a pest, is an agitator.
Seeing someone irritate Chris Paul
it's the best. It's just chef's kiss.
Herb Jones too.
It's great.
Denied letting him help him up.
He deserves it. He's a little shit.
Oh man. Irritant ranks in the playoffs. Patrick Beverly, he's still number 1.
Yeah.
Chris Paul, Alvarado number 2.
Just
Marcus Smart's got to be in
talent
there.
disparity. I'll give it to Alvarado because that's like his biggest trait, like his best ability.
Marcus Smart's
respectfully,
in there.
Jose, respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
But you would agree. That's what you're out there doing. Yeah. And then probably Smart, and then, Paul. Bunch of shitheads.
Let's see if I can find a bracket. So what other teams got some good irritants? No, that's not what I want.
Is Moritz Wagner in the playoffs?
No. He does tend to make everyone want to fight him for whatever reason.
He's a little shithead.
I don't know.
Oh, like PJ Tucker or Butler or someone from
they would.
Kyle Lowry
Lowry for sure.
Yeah.
No one on the Nets, really.
No one on the Hawks that I can think of.
Dylan Brooks.
Yeah,
absolutely.
he's a shithead.
People hate him.
Good one.
Beverly, like we said.
No one on the Jazz, really.
Grayson Allen, maybe. Although he doesn't really. He's just
kinda,
more of a scumbag. He doesn't really like talk shit or like get people to want to fight him. Really,
is he a scumbag anymore?
Yeah, Caruso play this year was pretty bad.
Ooh,
That's pretty bad.
That was bad. Yeah, forgot about that. He's a scumbag.
Denver, Campazzo. He doesn't really play anymore because he stinks, but he's
really bad.
Firmly in that, like he gets in a fucking shouting match every game. he plays.
Draymond.
Oh yeah, he's
probably top 5.
Yeah, he's probably top 1. He's up there.
He's a little asshole.
He's up there. Trey Young, honestly, he's not in the way
him.
that he guards you, but in terms of just a little brat fuck that you want to.
He is a brat. That's a
you
good way
want to fucking choke the life out of him.
He's really, really talented.
You
too.
little
it's
dweeb.
a real pain.
Yeah, that's probably about it. Maybe.
All right.
Guys that Caruso, not so much you hate him, but it's just like, God damn, stop guarding me so well. I really
good at this.
wish you would just give me a little bit of space.
Next round, we're looking at Celtics Bucks, assuming the Bucks can close it out.
The Bulls are dead.
No, I know. I'm just trying to get the bracket right.
Yep.
And then we're on winner of Toronto, Philly against the Heat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not that interested in the Heat series. I think they're going to win that pretty easily, especially given the injuries on both of those teams.
Yep.
In the West,
Memphis, Minnesota's bad. We thought Minnesota was kind of dead, but
2-2.
Memphis, Minnesota's fully a series again.
Got a series. Pelicans, Suns, 2-2, firmly a series.
Dallas, Utah's they're playing right now. Dallas
is kicking the shit out of them.
Beating the shit out of them.
So it's Warriors against, well, assuming that they can close that out, against the winner.
Memphis, probably.
Memphis, I'm trying to get the teams right. Memphis, Minnesota.
And then Dallas, Utah against Phoenix or New Orleans.
The Pelicans have a path to the West Finals.
Yeah, they could absolutely beat Dallas or Utah.
Yeah.
They could absolutely
I
do
told
it.
you that before. If they were able to get, I would take them over both of those teams easily. Luka's a problem. That's something we'll have to deal with.
Healthy Luka
That's something we'll have to deal with.
is tough.
It is.
Having the best player in the series helps.
It does. That is a challenge for sure. But I think
he's
a
playing
better
out of his
team.
goddamn mind.
I think they're a better team.
Yeah, they need Ingram to keep playing this level. Ingram's playing unreal.
I don't think it's out of the question that we see Zion. I don't
It'll be man, it is a guy that scores 30, and like obviously it's good to add that guy to your team. But the whole chemistry and the way the offense works changes when you have Zion. Like you have to completely figure out a way to reconfigure
I don't think
him
you do.
into shit.
I think he can play. So right now they're starting Valanciunas, they're starting the McCollum,
Herb Jones,
Brandon Ingram, and they're starting Jackson Hayes.
Yeah.
Like that's terrible Zion.
I get that, but like Jackson Hayes you're drawing up 0 touches a
I don't
game
think you
for
have to
Jackson
draw up
Hayes.
any. I think you could just you could bring him off the bench.
And my thing is, knowing what I know about Zion, if Zion's not getting the ball in offense, he's not gonna fucking try.
Well, then you can't play. Then you're not going to dress. You have to. It's the fucking playoffs. If you can,
and that's not even like it's just how it's just if he's going, he's giving you all the effort he can. If he's not really going, he's just kind of fucking walking through the motions.
Well, we got to decide who's showing up because you're not dressing if you can't. Like if you want to dress and play the 4 and offensive board and play through the high post and like get these guys shots, and then it's a slam. I mean, it's. But if you're just gonna.
That'd be fucking electric.
If you're going to be a baby bitch and want touches and look around, we got a fucking shot.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of player are you? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, you're an incredible talent. Adding him to...
Here's the other thing with the Zion. We're not totally sure that we can't put a lot of this blame on Stan Van Gundy being a terrible fucking coach. We don't know.
Yeah. Yes.
Willie Green, I think, without a doubt, very good coach.
I agree. We could be talking 2 years from now, him in the conversation, top 5, I mean, like...
He could easily win Coach of the Year next season.
100%. This team has the vibes of like a Memphis team where it's like, look how easily we can win all these games. We're just going to win them all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where they do add Zion back and they're just like, we're the 1 seed because we just run ourselves in the ground every night winning all these games. I could see that for sure, too. They have a shot.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can beat Golden State on the other side. That would be a real challenge. But if Zion, like, I'm not even a Zion guy, but just what he can, just athleticism alone.
The dude's 28-10. That's
he wouldn't
good.
put those numbers up on this team, but
he's
that
28-10 caliber.
He's done it as a second-year player.
He's an all-star. He is, maybe this will make you upset, unquestionably the most talented player on this team. Brandon Ingram's good. Zion does shit you cannot fucking teach.
I would be really, really disappointed if he dressed and like sulked around because he wasn't like the
and I don't think he will. I don't think he would.
What he could bring defensively with his athleticism, I think
and also the thing to consider is like a regular season, like there's just inherent juice to you playing when it's the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like that'll just get you up alone. Whereas game 47 when we're in goddamn Minnesota,
you go through the motions.
Just be like, fuck that. I don't fucking care.
Especially when they're terrible.
Yeah. So
you could even bring him off the bench for 15 minutes if he's not conditioned. He still looks a little heavy to me. Still windmill between the legs, dunking and
also
before the game.
If I have to hear Reggie Miller say one more time, if you can do that, you can give me 15 minutes. Reggie, the point is he's 21 years old and they don't want him to break his fucking foot and never be able to play again. He's not playing because he's unathletic.
It's a real mystery.
He's not playing because they think he will re-break his foot and will never be able to play again and will be a complete waste of an asset. The reason he's not playing is because they think he will re-injure his foot because he's a giant man with tiny little feet that they think will break under the sheer force that he exerts upon them. So Reggie Miller, shut the fuck up. You could play. Yes, he obviously could play. Would it be smart, given the medical information they have for him to play, is a different question. obviously
I would take
he
the chance.
could play. Here's the thing. As an 8 seed, you play him. He does hurt his foot. He's never the same again. You lose this series, then where are we?
I think they're pretty good with. I mean, they're good without him. Like they've.
Not worth
it would
the
be
risk
nice
for me. If they had home court advantage in these playoffs, if they were not an 8 seed in the playoffs, I would agree. But as an 8 seed, even with they're not beating a full strength Golden State. No chance. No chance.
I disagree. They have no chance.
No chance.
You said no chance they could beat the Suns.
Without Booker, I said they had no chance?
No. But shit happens. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
you gotta go. You have to go for it. Like when, obviously this is a bad example because he ended up winning. But like the Nationals not pitching Strasburg when they could have. You have a chance here. I really do think there's a non-zero chance that they could be in the finals. And
I think it's pretty close to 0 though.
With Zion, like a bought-in 20 minutes, and I think they have a chance.
But if he does get re-hurt and he breaks his foot, like he's that type of player. Like you have to have in your mind a 0%. Like he has to be.
I don't think it has to be 0.
105% that he's good.
He's not going to play in this series. They have 3 games left. If they can beat the Suns without Booker, if they can win 2 of these games, I think they can beat either of these teams without him. If they're in the West Finals against Golden State, I roll the dice.
Oh, yeah. If they get to the West Finals, I would agree. Because at that point, you're like...
Well, what's the difference? Like 2 weeks? Like I guess
because you got to win 2 more series. You got to beat the reigning Western Conference champions and then win another series with a team that's never been to the playoffs before. That's just a lot of things to expect to happen. Once you're already there, once you've already done all the work, then yeah, we're 4 games away. But as of now, they're 6 wins away. Which is,
I would play him next series.
Here's the whole thing. It's like if they think he's good, like play him tomorrow. But if you don't think he's good, then I don't know. Like if you think he's ready and you legitimately think the doctors are like he's good, play him now. I would
love to be a fly on the wall in those conversations.
It's impossible. We've never really had a discussion like this. There's never been like a situation quite like this in the playoffs, really, that I know of. It could be for some historical stuff, but
rarely.
And especially a guy like this, who's like a once-in-a-generation number 1 overall pick.
See a player
guy.
like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, that's the other thing. He's like, yeah,
I'm good. No, I want to play.
Yeah.
Allegedly, that's what people are. That's the report.
He wouldn't be being very obviously videographed of him doing 360 between the leg dunks. That's to me like, look at this. I'm good. Everyone talk about how good I am. Maybe they'll understand.
I would play him right now. I think the second round matchup is even a bigger reason to play him because this is the hurdle.
Winning playoff series is hard.
That's true.
New Orleans, none of these guys have ever been to the playoffs before. Valanciunas, that's it, pretty much. McCollum
went to the West Finals.
Everyone else on your team, never been to the playoffs before.
That's fine.
It's tough. You don't usually see teams with a bunch of guys that have never been in the playoffs go deep in the playoffs. Usually that almost never happens.
15 to 20 minutes of Zion against the Warriors, they have a chance. They don't have home court, not great. They don't have the experience that they have, not great. I wouldn't pick them to win the series, but I think they could win. 10% chance.
Sure, 10% chance.
Not high, but I would roll the dice and play him.
For a 10% chance?
Yes. I think it goes up if he plays, too. Because if you look on the other side, too.
Here's the other thing.
Middleton's hurt.
He hasn't even played 5-on-5 yet. So he's going to be
I don't know where he's at.
He's going to be out of shape.
I don't know where he's at.
That's the other thing. It's like he's going to play 15 minutes, and he's going to be like playing himself into shape for those 15 minutes.
On top of that, if you can many hurdles in the West, and it's not guaranteed that Golden State comes out. That's who's waiting for you. A lot of shit happens.
No, it's not guaranteed.
And even
but if things go according to how we think they're going to go, it will be.
Look on the other side. Toronto's injured. They probably wouldn't make it there anyways. Philly's injured. The Bucks are injured. Got a lot of who knows what could happen on the East. I really don't Couldn't tell you who
And
my
again-
favorite would be to come out of that. Maybe the Heat at this point. Like, everyone's still sleeping on them.
Yeah, no, they look good. The star power, the late game shot creation is what worries me, but they got guys that are, pretty good at that. They got 3 or 4 guys that
Lowry's banged up for them, too.
don't hate. Yeah, Lowry's hurt.
Another injury.
Again, I think they would be the only 8 seed that's ever won the NBA Finals, which is just another thing that's just, and I obviously don't like base history like we're here now, but just as a trend, it's just not a thing that happens very
No one's
often.
ever come back from a 3-0 deficit, and that's just a lock. So that's going to happen. Let's do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, first 3-0, first 8. Yeah, Pelicans are winning the finals. They're not, but
They're not. Oh, no. I agree they're not. But what I am saying is I think that the door is cracked open enough to roll the dice on the risk of Zion,
sure,
whatever that is.
sure.
And even if you don't get there, that experience is huge. You said none of them have been there. To get to a West Finals, that'd be huge. That'd be something massive to build on for the next season. Bring that same group back, add a shooter. I think it would be worth doing. I really think they're live to win this series with the Suns.
Yeah, I'm
Suns
gonna
are
be eating
in-
some spicy,
In trouble.
bad food if that happens.
In trouble. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy, Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Oh, Twitter. Oh, to lose to an 8. Oh, insufferable.
Ryan Russillo's not going to watch the rest of the playoffs. He's going to be sad.
No. There is a Chris Paul hive of lovers. Point guard hive.
Chris Paul's really good.
No, he's incredible. One of the best point guards of all time.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, we've been talking for like 2 hours. It's been fun, though.
Yeah.
Enjoy the NFL draft. Whenever those players are picked,
We'll
probably
talk
after
about
the
it.
first round, we'll talk about it. And we'll have some more basketball to talk about. So stick around for that. Enjoy the draft on Thursday. We'll probably be back either Friday or Saturday, something like that.
Something like that.
Talk about the draft, talk about NBA. Thanks for listening to this very long podcast, and we'll see you next time.